just steady and pull the trigger.
Have you heard the latest AFL podcast from the ABC? Join myself, Catherine Murphy, and AFL legend Paul Roos as we discuss all the big storylines. Feed your footy obsession or just learn more about the game as we bring you all the latest news and analysis. Find the ABC AFL Daily Podcast on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
AFL. On your radio.
On digital. And take us with you on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
It's West Coast and North Melbourne from Perth Stadium here on ABC Sport. And if North are to break through to open their account for 2024, could this be the day they come off the bye? So they should be well rested. While the West Coast Eagles, with all the talk about the Western Bulldogs and their recent long run without a break, the Eagles, just like the Bulldogs, have played, or in this, 13 straight games, including today. More than the Bulldogs, I've had 7 interstate flights to 3. The Eagles are without their young superstar, Harley Reid, suspended for a couple of matches. They're also without a couple of other key players as well. The most interesting one, thought it would just be 1 week for Tim Kelly, but he's been told he has to rest for another with that hip complaint. But the Eagles do welcome back Jake Waterman, and they give a debut to a youngster who just 11 days ago was drafted into the Eagles in the mid-season rookie draft. Jack Hutchinson makes his debut. He kicked 5 goals on debut for the WAFL Eagles last weekend. What can he do for the AFL Eagles today? Lots to talk about. Glad you can be with us wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, and streaming on the ABC Listen app. Clint Wilden with you. Mitch Turner is with me. And Mitch, also with us today in the ground, the 1994 West Coast Premiership side, including coach Mick Malthouse, who before this game strutted their stuff around Perth Stadium with the Premiership Cup. It was nice to see them. A lot of them still in pretty good nick, it has to be said.
It's certainly, Clint, great to be here, and considering they are on day 2 of celebrating that 30-year reunion of the 94 flag, they all made it around the ground very well and got a lovely reception. And worth mentioning, so too did Aussie the Eagle, who flew around without any issue today and returned back to the ball and got a rousing reception from the crowd. But also worth mentioning for West Coast today, Jai Cully back 399 days since doing that knee injury, so terrific to see him back as well.
And the Eagles with 3 mid-season draftees playing today. The third of those is the sub. I speak of Ryan Marrick, the sub for West Coast. North Melbourne sub, Eddie Ford for the North Melbourne Football Club. So Marrick for the Eagles and Ford for North Melbourne. Toss of the coin about to take place downstairs, and it's the Norm Smith medalist from 1994 in Dean Kemp to toss the coin. What's happened there, Mitch?
The coin has gone up, it is down. Liam Duggan has won the toss and will kick to the Graham Farmer Freeway end of the ground.
Our experts today with you on ABC Sport. The Saturday footy continues. Collingwood Premiership player, former Eagle Sharad Wellingham, Brownlow medalist Shane Woden. Gents, how does this go today?
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. North Melbourne would have penciled this one in and thought that they might be able to get their first W, and I can feel something in the air. There's an ambush,
correct,
ready to happen.
Cheeky sniff.
I'm on the edge of my seat today. I think that North Melbourne will have a mountain of confidence, won't they, Wally? I think that they'll be up and about. They would have looked at this one so far ahead and thought, we've got to be ready and primed for this one. Harley Reid goes out, massive loss for West Coast, and so everything's just lined up.
That's right. Cheeky sniff, throw the kitchen sink at it, have a crack at it. Looking forward to seeing some of these young kids play. And great stories for West Coast. Hutchison first, ACL for Cully, come back in. It's exciting times for them as a footy club, but again, they've got to get their contest right early to be competitive against the Kangaroos.
How much reliance on Kelly and Reid do they actually have? We're going to have a really good look. Yo's obviously still in there, but I suppose the main contributors so far this season through the midfield have been Yo, Reid and Kelly. 2/3 of that combo out spells opportunity for North Melbourne. So can they grab it?
West Coast against North. North always with a big contingent of fans here in WA. A lot of great players from Western Australia have made their way across to play for the Kangaroos. And the Eagles today, by the way, wearing a black armband in honour of John Todd, former coach, one of the great waffle coaches, one of the greats of WA football, passing away earlier this week. West Coast and North Melbourne. Here's Mitch Turner to get us started.
Flynn and Sherry, the two to get us underway in the middle. Both got a hand to it. Coming down, Jimmy was the first to get to it for the Eagles. Couldn't take possession, though. Simpkin did well. The skipper back into the side, gave it to Wardlaw, and he was spinning through trouble, was tackled and eventually brought to ground by Witherden. There'll be a ball up just forward of centre wing, favouring North Melbourne. Sherry this time got to the front, tapped it down. Shields' kick was smothered for the Roos. Jimby swooped on it, gave it to Yo. He's tackled and slides across the turf. Davies Uniacke right on top of him. What a battle that'll be today. Two absolute bulls going at it in the middle. Flynn was able to reach around and tap the ball in front of a teammate. Eventually, though, comes out the way of North Melbourne through Fisher. His handball inside to Archer. Now ends up with Davies Uniacke. A dangerous kick across the ground. Was looking for a teammate in Tucker. Petruccelli knocked it away for West Coast. Hoff and Curtis do battle. Eventually, North Melbourne win it back. And Tucker's able to find a short lead in Toby Pink.
Pink has it on centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Will kick into the left forward pocket. He wanted Larkey. Ball's allowed to bounce. Barris traps it. Got a hand pass away. Meant for Duggan. Couldn't take it cleanly first time. Gathers hard up against the boundary. Kicks the Eagles in the direction of Petruccelli, who marks. Just forward of right half back. Plays it down the outer wing. Now with Cripps. Puts West Coast towards Waterman. Back in the team this week. He marks for the Eagles, 60 from goal. Hard up against the boundary. Pops it over the top into the right forward pocket. Darling marks.
Nice bit of transition football. Probably started from that great intercept and possession win from Tommy Barras, who's in great form. Going from one end all the way from defensive 50 all the way to forward 50 without too many hassles. North Melbourne want to keep an eye on that transition football.
They got outside real quick, didn't they, West Coast, in transition there. Fisher didn't press, sort of sagged off his opponent, allowed him to take a bit of ground.
Jack Darling starts from beyond the boundary. He'll kick from about 40 metres out. It's across the face and a minor score, missing to the left-hand side. First score of the day belongs to the Eagles. 2 and a bit minutes gone. They're one behind. North yet to score. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Already we can see Dommy Sheed with probably the negating role on Davies Uniacke. Work rate already is standing out.
Fisher brings the ball back into play for North Melbourne. Kick out to the wing, and Shields was there, but Ruben Jimby able to knock it out of bounds. It'll be ball in right below our commentary position. 2.5 minutes played here. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. The Eagles lead by 1, the only score of the game so far. Just to behind as the ball's spun back in. Sherry got to the front. He was being held by Flynn. It's a free kick going the way of North Melbourne. Kick up the wing from Simpkin. Was looking for Zerha. Well read, though, by Edwards for West Coast. And they managed to move the ball quickly right into the centre circle. Petruccelli points long. Oh, sells a bit of candy. Gets around his opponent in Curtis. Kicks inside the forward 50. Waterman can't mark. Knocked away by Core. Shields had a fumble for the Roos. Diving in his Simpkin. He's on top of the ball. Tackle comes in, and the umpire says Petruccelli was a little overzealous, or Darling it was in the end. Catches him high, and Jai Simpkin will win the ball back inside defensive 50 for North Melbourne.
He'll steer the board inboard. Chance again to build from Zach Fisher. Started his career with Perth, just up the road from Perth Oval and Perth Stadium. As the kick goes towards Tucker, he'll move it short again. This is with Scott for North Melbourne, has it at left half back. He'll kick down the southern wing. Flying McGovern. Attacked the football. Soared into the air and brought down to Sherrin. He has it just forward of right half back for West Coast. He glances across half back, and that's where the kick will go to Witherden.
It's twice now Urquhart's been caught behind.
Witherden right back to full back where Barris marks, and he'll send it with a switch of play to Petruccelli. Good vision. Petruccelli showing real speed, as we know he has, to get towards the commentary wing, and he'll stab it towards the logo, and he finds Sheed, who goes on a bit of a run and then kicks to Waterman.
Waterman has the ball. Slightly on the attacking side of the wing. Goes short to Jermaine Jones. Both with the left shoulder strapped up. Jones kicks it into the pocket. Darling reaches over the top. Gets two hands and takes a strong mark. He'll go back from a tight angle in the pocket. Will kick from about 30 metres out. Left forward pocket. He'll have to run around and bend it around the body.
How did Luke go last week?
Sorry. I obviously meant...
Is that Urquhart?
I was talking about Luke Urquhart, one of the young under-18 boys.
Gavin Urquhart used to play for North, didn't he? Yeah. Jack Darling, game 290 today. Equals Dean Cox. Second all-time for the West Coast Eagles. He runs around. The kick is on the way. It's bending, but not far enough. Another minor score to Darling. The Eagles, 2 straight behinds, leads North Melbourne. Yet to score. 5 minutes played here Saturday. Footy on ABC Sport.
Fisher to Comben. Goes back to Fisher by hand. Gets a kick away for North towards the southern wing. Pink stretched out the arms. Couldn't mark it. Brought to ground. Harry Edwards got a hand pass away to Ryan, and Ryan almost got legged as he went over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Just shy of centre wing for North Melbourne, who trail by 2 points on the scoreboard. 6 gone in this, the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Throwing back in. Flynn. Sherry went to ground. Flynn got it down. Yo tried to work it forward. Cully picks it up. Back in the team after the ACL. Opportunity here for Davies Uniacke. Gave it on to Stevenson. Hand pass to Fisher, who ran by through the centre circles. Kicks deep inside the forward 50. Serha couldn't mark. Brought it to ground. Barris was there at the drop, though, for the Eagles to McGovern. Cleverly done. Now to Jimby. Takes a bounce and runs towards left half back and comes down the wing to Cripps.
Jimby continues to run. Cripps gives the handball back off to him. Now kicks towards half forward. Jimby Williams. Bailey J going back, takes the mark right on the paint of 50. Left half forward, he's thinking of a short option, decides not to. In the end, pops it up to the hot spot and to no one in particular. Sherry stood there all alone and took the mark uncontested.
Just need a bit more patience then. Options would have come late for him.
He weighed up 2 or 3, Williams, in the end. He chose the worst one as the kick now comes beyond defensive 50. For North Melbourne. Jimmy's there first for the Eagles, though. He's tackled immediately. Wrapped up. It'll be a ball up on the wing. Just the 2 behinds scored so far, both by West Coast. Ball up in the middle of the ground. You hear the cheer as Jack Hutchinson comes onto the ground. Wearing number 44. Of course, worn by David Wirapunda in the 2006 Grand Final. Ball back into play. Tucker swoops on the handball, gives it to Simpkin. A little bit of fancy footwork. Did well to get past his opponent. Then the kick up the wing is a good mark. Taken by Larkey.
Was made to earn it as well by Barris. Goes inboard to Sheasel. Sheasel for North. Kicks inside forward 50. Spoiled the back. It was a good one too from Hoff. Spilled to Witherden. Back to Hoff. Now to Cole. Out towards Cripps. Marking just shy of the centre wing southern side. But he's turned it over. Was it push, actually? It's going to be against North. Comben giving away the free kick. It goes to Darling. He'll pop it short again. This is Cripps once more. Too far out to score. Probably 70 from goal. Steers it inside forward 50. McDonald got in front of Waterman. Sees it over the boundary line. Good spoil. So throwing about 40 out from West Coast goal. They're kicking to the left of our broadcast position. That's the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium in this opening term. 8 gone in the first. West Coast 2 behinds. North yet to score. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Ball spun back into play. Darling did the ruck work. Sherry, though, won it down for the Kangaroos. Got it to Taylor. His kick up the wing. It's out in front of Paul Curtis. The Eagles fans want insufficient intent, but there are a number of players in the vicinity. So it will be tossed back in.
West Coast backs have saved their mids a couple of times in transition there.
Almost 9 minutes played in this opening term. Still no major for either side. Scott did well. Read it off the ruck tap. Got it to Davies Uniacke. Had to do a little spin. Gave it back to Scott. Eventually Powell. His kick up the wing. Looking for Zerha, but he's out points of McGovern. Spilt the mark. Almost held it long enough. The umpire, though, says Zerha's tackle was over the shoulder. So McGovern spilt the mark, but a bit of a let-off as he holds his face a little bit. See the replay here. Shane Sharrod.
Yeah, Zerha's just come in a bit hot. His left knee kind of cannoned in. After he got beaten in the contest, you're a bit overzealous, aren't you?
To Claremont Products going head-to-head there for either side. Gaff this time was able to read it off hands of the pack. Kicks it inside the forward 50, a tumbling ball towards the vicinity of Darling, but Archer's there to knock it out of bounds. 10 minutes played here, opening term, Perth Stadium, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Earlier today, the Hawks won a third in a row. 6 points in a controversial finish, mind you, against GWS. Restart. Sherry dropped it, gathered it. Was able to get a kick away for North towards the southern wing. Larkey marks. Plays on by hand to Zerha. Gave it off to Sheasel. Clever kick is short. Oh, Scott couldn't mark it. Had to go back. Hand pass to Sheasel under pressure. Hand pass into space. Oh, big collision. Edwards came one way. Trying to get there the other way was Will Dawson. Ball hits the deck. And he wrapped up in here. Harry Edwards had two really good goes at that for West Coast, the youngster, and had the big frame of Will Dawson coming the other way as they look to ball it up just forward of the wing for North. Flynn taps it down. Sheasel gathers the crumbs for North Melbourne, though. Hands it off to Powell. Kicks North inside forward 50. McGovern couldn't take the diving mark. It's spilled out. Good tackle coming from Larkey. No chance for Hoff to get rid of it. He'll throw it back to the umpire. Ball up inside North Melbourne's forward 50. They trail by 2 points. 11 gone in the first.
Ball toss back up in the air. Sherry got to the front of Flynn. Tapped it straight to Jimmy, though. His kick stolen. Wardlaw. Kick smothered. Pops up in the air. It's inside North Melbourne's forward 50. McGovern. He was stripped of it. Clever handball from Zerha. Got it underground to Stevenson, but he ran into trouble. Couldn't get away from the Eagle tackler and Cole. He's pin holding the ball.
9-zip clearance in favour of Kangaroos.
West Coast want to move it quickly. It comes out to Chesser. He's got a high up and under kick to the first gamer, Hutchinson. He's just pushed off it by McDonald. And straight away, the Kangaroo kicks it inside the forward 50. Barris, he was met with contact, couldn't take the mark. Stevenson straightens up, kicks it back towards the hot spot. Sheasel gets it to Powell, run down from behind. Curtis lays a tackle. Players dive in, 30 out from North Melbourne's goal. They can't be separated. It'll be a ball up. 12 minutes played opening term. Both sides looking for their first major.
Goal-saving tackle from Sheed. Just as it looked like North were going to open up and have a shot on goal. Throw it up. Sherry palmed it down. The Eagles decided not to actually put someone up. Bailey J was in the vicinity. Hits the deck. It's been locked in. Ball up again.
It's about as Melbourne type weather as we can possibly get in Perth today, isn't it? Looks a bit like the G out there.
It's that one down by Sherry. Sheed looks to hack it away. I think it was touched on the way through. No, mark has been paid. It's interesting. Tucker's got it at centre half forward. Hacked it out of a pack. Tucker was able to complete the grab. He's got it about 60 from goal. He'll start the approach from the attacking edge of the centre square. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Barris with the spoil at the back of the pack. Spills out. Eventually came down towards Sheed. Umpires spotted a high decision. It's going the way of North Melbourne. It'll come back. A chance for a shot at goal from, let's say, 40 metres out. Slightly angled to the left, and Scott will get the free kick as he attacked the football. Got one around the shoulder and the neck from Jermaine Jones.
Doing a lot right, the Kangaroos early. Getting territory and playing the front half. Just got to capitalise on these opportunities.
Here comes Bailey Scott. Kicks on its way. Misses. Pushing to the right-hand side. Another minor score to begin proceedings. The Eagles are 2 behind. North Melbourne 1 behind. 13 and a bit gone in the opening quarter.
McGovern strolled out of the defensive goal square. Took a couple of bounces. Eventually gave it to Duggan, who kicks up the wing. Williams at the front. Held it for a long time. Umpire said, play on. Waterman handballs it to Jones. Had to zig and zag. On to Petrocelli. Now Cole for West Coast able to go across his own defensive 50. Found Harry Edwards in space. His kick up the wing is a shocker. Davies Uniacke was able to cut it off. Zerha there to support. Now Powell has a short option. Kicks a little longer. Looking for Larkey. Barris did well. Larkey bodied him out of the way, but Barris still managed to get a fist on it and knock it out of bounds. Left half forward for the Kangaroos.
Again, last line saving from Barras and the key defenders, McGovern as well. Edwards, all doing a great job.
2 behinds, plays 1 behind. The throw-in was very shallow. Williams just ran onto it, took it away. The umpire said it was okay. His kick, though, went straight to Tucker for North Melbourne. Back inside the 50. The kick's too hot over the head of Larkey. And McGovern's happy to track it all the way back over the boundary deep in the left forward pocket. Still 2 behinds, plays 1 behind. We are 15 minutes gone in the opening term.
Clearances West Coast 1, North Melbourne 10. Shows you how impressive the Eagles' defence has been. Jay couldn't take it cleanly from the throw-in. It spilled down to McGovern. Gave it to Gaff. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Waterman had 2 to beat. Mark was taken by McDonald's. He's got it just forward of halfway, a metre or 2 in from the outer edge of the centre square. He'll get told to play on now for North. Takes a couple of steps out to the left and then kicks back inside their forward 50. Barris and Harry Edwards got a touch. Spilled down to McGovern. Got it to Chesser. Kicks the Eagles towards right half back. Darling again with 2 to beat. Spilled down to Jones. Was tackled there by Scott. Ball came out the side. Looked like a bit of a throw then from Comben. Umpire says no play on. Trying to get to it, Scott. And a handy shepherd as well on the way through. Scott stepped away and they've got a hand pass away against Cripps. Moved it on to Wardlaw. Opportunity to build again. North come through the middle of the ground. Davies Uniacke sends it on to Shields. Takes a bounce, runs past the logo, commentary wing. Hands it off again. This is Powell. Kicks towards right half forward. Stevenson marks. 50 from goal. 5 in from the boundary. Does he like his chances from here?
A couple of options. One skinny side, one in the corridor. If he had organised his feet, he could have hit. Just a 20-metre pass to be a bit closer.
He's been accurate in front of goal this year. 6 straight. Here he comes from 51 out. He's decided to go for goal. It won't have the carry. It's off hands. And the ball bumps as it tumbles along the ground, eventually into the right-hand behind post. So we've got ourselves a throw in at right full forward for North Melbourne, who trail by behind. 16 and a half gone in the first. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary.
Rather dour affairs so far. Ball spun back in. Williams is able to get down to Yo. Shares the 1-2 with Harry Edwards deep in defence. Now just has to pump the ball outside defensive 50. And luckily Gaff was there to take the chest mark. Now they go quickly, the Eagles. Through Jimby it comes to Ryan. His kick is an absolute shocker. It tumbles inside the 50. Core misses it. Had a fumble. Waterman comes through. Breaks the tackle. Snaps it on the left boot towards goal. Does he get the bounce? No, he doesn't. Another behind. 3 straight behinds the Eagles. 1 behind the Kangaroos. Now 17 minutes played in the opening term here. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Come on, Clint.
I was going to say, you can
get us a goal.
You can guess it's 16th versus 18th. Balls into the left back pocket with Tucker. Kicks the Kangaroos beyond defensive 50. Omar taking the pack. Simpkin there at the drop. Handed it back, and then a strong tackle from Yo. Wraps up Taylor. No prior, but got him strongly. Takes him to ground, hard up against the boundary, right half forward for the Eagles. Wonder what the 94 Premiership team is making of it. If indeed much of it. As Bailey J. Williams goes at it and thumps it back towards the boundary line.
They were up by about 6 goals at this point, weren't they?
They were. It's going to be a free kick here. It's against Williams, who've been out on the full from the ruck contest. I reckon they're about 6 in front of the score at the moment as well, Sharon.
I think they were that far in front at breakfast.
It certainly was from having a chat to David Hart on Sports Talk this morning. The kick is down the outer side from North, and again a free kick spotted. It's Larkey who's been infringed. He's just forward of the wing, standing on the outer edge of the logo. North trail by 2 behinds, 19 gone in the first.
Nothing to go to initially for Larkey. Waits for numbers to flood forward. Now he kicks it inside the attacking 50. Pink flew from behind, couldn't take it. Simpkin had it knocked away from him. Diving in over the ball for West Coast is Jones. He's laying on top of it. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt.
Got to kind of question the tactic and continually kicking it in high and long inside the forward 50 for North Melbourne.
All up 35 metres out, directly in front of the North goal. The Eagles, though, this time work it out through Hoff to Cully. Did well to get out of traffic. Now kicks it up the wing. The first gamer's in a foot race. Hutchinson tries to outpoint Dawson. They're both going one-on-one. Ball bobbling around inside the Eagles 50. Now the numbers file in. Tucker, he's tackled by Jones. Yo went without it initially. Had to go back and get it. Waterman ran into trouble. Managed to get it out to Yo. He's runs down from behind. Gets a kick away. Hutchinson again wrestling the first gamer. Cripps. Well, Gaff missed the target. Coming through for North Melbourne is Powell. It's chaos ball inside the Eagles attacking 50. North get the clearance. Straight to McGovern. And he goes short to Chesser, 55 from home.
Chesser will look for an option. He'll put it into the right forward pocket. He wanted Waterman against Tucker. Tucker front position. Won it down for North. Sockers it off the ground. Beyond defensive 50. Sits there. Larkey can't gather cleanly. Powell knocked it away. Davies Uniacke, strong bump into the side of Chesser. Allows Powell to gather for North. To Sheasel. Bounces a kick down the wing. Goes past 4 players. 2-on-2. Picked up by Pink. Kicks high up into the air. Where is that going? It's going cannoning into the fence on the full. Not just over the boundary line, but into the fence. And so West Coast will have the free kick inside their back 50. They'll move it inboard. And that gives us a chance to head downstairs to Akash Fotodara. Akash.
Will Dawson has just headed down to the rooms for North Melbourne. Not entirely sure what the issue is, but he's gone down with a couple of the medical staff.
So early injury concerns potentially for North Melbourne. Eddie Ford, the sub for the Kangaroos. Ryan Marrick for the Eagles. So West Coast move the ball down the outer side of the wing. Flying in front was Cully and Flynn. Couldn't take possession. Jones flew into the pack. Now ball bobbling around on centre wing. Sherry lays a big tackle on top of Elliot Yeo. The shin pad and the helmet protected from head to toe as Tristan Sherry, as the ball goes back in the air. Sheeds on hands and knees. He can't get it now. Players once again just dive on top of the ball. We've played 21 and a half minutes. Yet to see a major. It's 3 behinds, plays 1. Sherry fell over in the ruck. Williams was able to tap it down. She broke the tackle, got it to a teammate in Chesser. Kick inside the forward 50. Bounces off the bootlaces of Comben. Tapped wide by Flynn, was trying to get it to a teammate. Tucker, though, was able to cut it off, but he tried to share it with Core, and the return handball went out of bounds. Once again, I'll pass over to Clint Wilden. 22 minutes played. Can you get us a goal, Clint?
Big lull.
Failed so far.
It's like cricket.
The crowd was almost involved in the last foray forward for West Coast, but to no avail.
Sherry, front position, stolen by Petruccelli. Straight into one tackle, lost possession of the footy. McDonald got him. They've stayed down for a moment. Scott with the clearing kick towards right half back. Stevenson gathers. Hand passes astray. Eagles should mop up and do through Gaff. He measures the kick and waiting underneath it, Darling marks.
Petruccelli's pouring blood out of his forehead.
Reason he stayed down for a moment after that collision as he took on McDonald. So here is Darling kicking towards full forward. Big pack flies. Petruccelli's still out there, by the way. Here's Hutchinson. Oh, gathered it, knocked out of his grasp just as he was about to drop. Ball to boot. Knocked down there by Tucker, and then more players pile in. We've got a ball up. Petruccelli's been told he's going to have to get off the ground. Blood pouring down from a cut across his forehead. Everyone will pause for a moment. Ball's inside West Coast forward 50. The left forward pocket. They lead 3 behinds to 1 behind as Ginby and Ryan come back on. Yo and Petruccelli make their way off for West Coast.
Hutchison nearly had that in his first game. Slipped through the mitts.
So close.
He found himself in the right spot.
Sherry palmed it down. Davies Uniacke tracks it towards the boundary. He's happy to see it across the line with Sheed right with him. Another ball in. Closing stages of the first term. 3 behinds plays 1 behind. West Coast in front of North Melbourne. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Thrown in again. Sherry once more won the tap. It came out to Jimmy. Sheasel got him. Took him to ground. Lost possession. Sheed tries to bounce a kick along the boundary line. Couldn't get past Comben, who sees it across the boundary for another throw-in deep in the left forward pocket. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our expert, Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch.
Ball will be spun back into play. Darling v Sherry. Darling trying to take it from the front position. Eventually it bounced back to him, the ball, but he's gang tackled by Sherry and Comben. Another ball up.
It's interesting to see your number 1 ruckman play really as a deep key defender to allow you to spare out the back.
Ball tossed up. Williams over the top. Got it down to Ryan. Came, though, the way of Davies Uniacke. He was pushed when he kicked it. Eventually, though, got it back. A little bit of fancy footwork. Tumbling ball towards the arc of defensive 50. Simpkin did well for the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Got it to Scott. Then to the run of Sheasel. His kick up the wing was looking for a target in Paul Curtis, and McGovern was right on his hammer, gave away the free kick. So North Melbourne finally get it outside their defensive 50. Curtis's kick, though, is straight to Liam Ryan. Turned it over, hit him right in the middle of the logo, centre wing. And all of a sudden, the players drop their heads, turn around and go marching back into defence as Ryan kicks it to half forward. Cully takes the mark, 55 from home. Ryan wanted the handball back as he streamed past. Cully in the bright orange boots decided to hold it a bit longer. Now kicks a long high ball to the goal square, dropping the mark in front. Was Comben, and the ball goes off hands, out of bounds. We're back pretty much where we were 2 minutes ago. Throw in forward pocket.
It was Matt Flynn that Shane Woden was referring to. I was listening around the nation, who is the number one ruck and he's playing in defence. Alistair Clarkson has just made his way to the bench. Just over a minute to play in the first quarter. Sherry takes clean possession, but there's a push that's going West Coast way. It's against Sherry, who can't believe it's been given against him. It'll come back to be Darling's kick. And he'll start in line with the left hand behind post and will kick from no more than 30 metres out.
It's not happy,
Just a case of out-muscling Darling, is it?
Didn't look much in it.
No.
Wait for the replay.
It really didn't look like much.
Has two hands in the back and
But
does give him
barely.
a nudge.
Nah. That's not there for me.
It's not there with what we've seen again in recent times. Darling won't mind. His approach is straight, so's the kick, and he punches the air with both hands. And in the dying stages of the first term, a goal at last in this contest at Perth Stadium. West Coast 139, North Melbourne 1 behind. 27 gone in the first. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Talk us through the free.
Yeah, I don't think it was there.
I mean,
Yes,
Darling's done a good job of accentuating it, which
Felt
you
the
know,
hands.
is a craft in itself. I mean, he's a forward, so he's used to kind of, milking those kind of
Making the most of it.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Making the most. Isn't that what milking stands for?
Yeah.
Do put yourself in that situation where arms are fully extended.
Yeah. I mean,
Paid
it's
the
not
price.
like he pushed him. Sherry didn't push him, though, so it's a bit lucky on Darling's behalf.
This will shock many. North Melbourne haven't had a goalless quarter this season. Not just opening quarter. They haven't gone goalless in a single quarter this season, yet they have not won a game. Ball restarted back in the middle. North kick it towards half forward. Zerha spilt the mark. Came to McGovern for West Coast. She goes inside 50 with only a couple of seconds remaining on the clock, and he spots Darling again. He'll go back for a chance to kick goal number 2 in about 90 seconds of play.
Geez, they've done a lot right, the Kangaroos. Although they haven't put the score on the board, they're in the game, they're in the contest.
It's really just their inside 50s that have let them down, isn't it? As we hear the siren.
Well,
Does it always seem to go for a bit
Long
longer
siren.
when someone's lining up for goal?
theatre, drama. Darling will be right behind the kick. He'll kick from 45 metres out. Slightly worse than 45-degree angle. Left half forward. Kick to goal just a moment ago. He's the only goal scorer in the game so far. Darling's kick looks pretty good off the boot, but it drifts away to the left, and it's another minor score. But it will take the Eagles to 1-4-10. North Melbourne just 1 behind and goalless in a quarter for the first time in season 2024.
Jack Darling, by the way, has been responsible for 9 of the Eagles' 10 points. He's kicked 1 goal 3 so far. They are 1 goal 4. The other behind coming from the boot of Jake Waterman. Just 1 behind for North Melbourne in that term. As Mitch said, the first time that they have been held goalless in an opening quarter this season, but they have won just 1 opening term as well. For those who like that sort of stuff, they've won just 6 quarters in entirety for the season. West Coast had the advantage at quarter time, 1-4-10 to 1 behind from North Melbourne. Just repeating the earlier game, Hawthorn by 6 points over GWS in a controversial finish. Hear more about that, I'm sure, on Sunday AFL with Matt Clinch tomorrow. West Coast at quarter time lead the Kangaroos by 9 points wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app. Look for the AFL button. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
It's the most magical time of the year, right? Footy season. This season you can get your footy live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app. Unbelievable. AFL, NRL, men's, women's. Whatever you fix, we've got you covered. Every goal, try, mark and tackle, called by ABC Sports expert commentary team.
A wonderful goal! Game, set, bingo!
100% pure footy, live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Just over a minute to play in the first quarter. Sherry takes clean possession, but there's a push that's going West Coast way. It's against Sherry, who can't believe it's been given against him, and will come back to be Darling's kick. He'll start in line with the left hand behind post and will kick from no more than 30 metres out. His approach, straight, sows the kick, and he punches the air with both hands. And in the dying stages of the first term, a goal at last in this contest at First Stadium.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Great you could be with us at Perth Stadium for the Eagles and the Kangaroos. West Coast by 9 points at the first break. Let's hear from our experts. Brownlow medalist Shane Woden, Premiership player Sharad Wellingham.
A lot right, Sharad. +7 clearance, +14 tackles. Kangaroos +3 contest, +6 ground ball. So all the contest part of the game, they're in it. Just ineffective when they do go forward. They just are just long inside 50, bringing Barras and McGovern into play. Edwards into play. Able to transition from that too. And West Coast just better take their opportunities when they do go inside 50. Could have been 2 on the siren. A little bit ineffective. Bit of a lull in the game, but they're in the fight. It's not a great spectacle right now.
It hasn't been super clean from either side, and it hasn't felt like the game has been in North's forward half for the majority, but you look at the numbers and, the clearances and contested possessions say that it should be up there a lot more, but West Coast have had, like you said, they've been able to rebound pretty easily and go from defensive 50 all the way up to forward 50. So if they can halt that transition, get in a bit more of a defensive behind the ball structure set up, which I think by slowing their inside 50s will allow them to set up behind, might actually counteract that rebound football the West Coast are able to do at the moment. So just slowing down going inside forward 50 will enable them to defend a little bit better behind. So yeah, like you said, they're doing a lot right, and I think they'll be pretty happy with the start.
Their mids are getting out of contest better than what the West Coast mids are, so they've got some real dangerous weapons in there to be able to do this and put some light.
As some of the key stats after the first quarter: disposals 86-85 the way of the Eagles, contested possessions 32-30 the way of North Melbourne. The tackle count is 25-12 the way of the Kangaroos. The hit-outs 12-10 in West Coast favour. The clearances, as mentioned, 13-6 to the Kangaroos. The inside 50s, though, 13-10 the way of West Coast. The individual disposal getters for North Melbourne, Bailey Scott has 9. He leads all comers on the ground. Darcy Tucker and Harry Sheasel with 8. For West Coast, Jeremy McGovern has 8. Chesser and Darling both 6 apiece. That scoreline, though, 1-4-10. The Eagles, North Melbourne, goalless in the opening term for the first time this year, just 1 behind.
Watching some of the screens around the stadium. Highlights again of the 94 Premiership team making their way around the ground in the pre-game. They were downstairs as a guard of honour as the Eagles ran out to get things started ahead of this game. Team that had to go huge amount of troubles in the early days of West Coast, and then were able to solidify under Mick Malthouse into a genuine force, the best team in the nation for a couple of seasons. Grand final in 91, Premiership 92-94. This side be able to do similar things. From the restart, Sherry will win it down for North Melbourne. Wardlawn's out after it. the arms free. Hand passes there for Powell to run on to. Elects to soccer it forward. It'll sit up. Nicely taken by Sherry, and strong tackle from Duggan. Taking on a player far bigger than he is. Wrapped him up, and Duggan took him to ground.
Great leadership.
He's the captain today. Showing terrific skill. Great courage. Came back from the restart through Gaff, then Duggan. Hand passes to a group of players looking to get it away. Hoff was in the vicinity. It's been locked in at right half forward for North Melbourne. Cully and Gaff, the last two to climb up off the deck. Throwing up into the air. One down by Sherry once more to Wardlaw for North. Hand pass to Fisher. Tackled by Petruccelli. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Scooped up by Powell. Has to go back for North, and he finds McDonald. Kicks inside forward 50. Big fly. No mark taken. At the drop. Oh, beautifully gathered. A shot at goal. And it's not far away from Davies-Uniacke, but he's missed. He's hit the left-hand goalpost. That would have been some goal from the Kangaroos. Instead, they're two behinds. 1-4-10, the Eagles, opening 80 seconds here at Perth Stadium.
McGovern just strolls out the defensive goal square, kicks to the wing. Yo was tunnelled underneath it a little bit. Ball went over the back of the pack. Coming in is Gaff. He's got three Kangaroos to deal with, but Wardlaw wraps him up. The ball will be tossed up. And Yo just a little sore getting to his feet. He hit the turf pretty hard from that last marking contest. Sherry took it out of the ruck, had front position. Flynn may have had him over the shoulder. No, the umpire says it went the other way. No, I was about to say they pointed the wrong way, gave the ball to the wrong player, but it was high contact going to Tristan Sherry. Uses the run, gives the hands off to Zach Fisher. High up and under ball. Shields in front position for North. Couldn't take the mark. Jimby knocked it down. Coming through was Cully. He went without it. Powell, though, was good for the Roos. Was able to get it to Stevenson. Danced through traffic. Now Davies-Uniacke gets it back to Sherry. His kick inside the forward 50. Looking for a target. McGovern dropped the mark. Zerha tried to go off the deck. Stevenson's in there. Now Zerha back on the ball. Gives it to Curtis. Back to Zerha. Throws it on the left from the top of the square, and he misses.
Oh, can't kick it.
That's hard to miss from top of the goal square.
He bellied that.
Three behinds to North Melbourne. 1-4-10 to West Coast. A 7-point margin. We've played just 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the second term.
You could see the North fans throw their hands into the air. They were directly behind that. Head downstairs in a moment. As McGovern shared it with Witherden. Back to McGovern. Kicks the Eagles towards centre wing. McDonald climbed up into the air. Got 2 fists to the foot. It'll bounce over the line at the Eagles interchange bench. A cash Fodadars downstairs.
Will Dawson spent the whole quarter time break having a left shoulder assessed. He's finally come back out and gone straight to the back of the bench. So Eddie Ford still has his warm-up top on, but he's getting a rub down now, and I think that sub's going to be made very shortly.
The restart. Flynn, front position, got his fingertips to it. Davies-Uniacke tries to gather it. Bumped off it by Yo. Still there to be won. Trying to emerge with it, the Kangaroos. Eventually it comes out to Davies-Uniacke. He was tackled immediately. It was Fisher who picked it up off the ground. Ball up, though. Once more, just forward of the wing. Commentary side. On the ruck with a telling tap. Trying to emerge with it, Simpkin. Tackled by Yo, and the ball's been held into him as they hit the Perth Stadium turf. Cash Fodadar again.
And confirmation from North Melbourne that sub has been made, so Eddie Ford is into the game for Will Dawson.
Flynn down. Got it on to Sheed. Moved it to Yo. There's a whistle on the play here. It's coming back. Sheed took a long while to get up off the ground. Got a free kick. A little knock in all of that. Comes back to him. He's standing on the logo on the commentary wing, and he'll steer it inboard with the pass, and this is Duggan who marks in the centre square. The Eagles by 7, 4 gone in the second.
Duggan rolls on to his trusted left boot, kicks it long inside the forward 50. Players flew in front from West Coast, couldn't take the mark. Gaff, a little underground handball. Waterman was cleaned up by Curtis, came through, won the ball, did the Kangaroo. His kick, though, beyond defensive 50, straight to Barris. Waterman back to his feet on the lead, couldn't take the mark. Gets it to Cully. His kick towards the top of the square is straight into the arms of Comben, who will now bring it out wide to the left back pocket. Fisher plays on, ran into a little bit of trouble. Had to go by hand to Tucker, and now Shields has the ball. Between half back and the wing, kicks it up, looking for Pink. McGovern arrives late, punches the ball, and it bobbles out of bounds. in front of the Eagles fans here on the broadcast swing. Out of bounds. The ball will be tossed back in.
Doctor's just gone to check with Jake Waterman. He's told he's okay. Looks a little worse for wear, to be fair, though. It was involving 2 big hits in about 40 seconds of each other.
Good effort to get up and go again.
Absolutely. Sherry wins it down for North. Simpkin gathers. Will grab her a kick inside the attacking 50. Well read by Pink. Picked it up, gave it back to Simpkin, got taken high. Around the head. They wanted to play on here, North, and then decided to stop. It was Wardlaw who had it.
Umpire called it.
Called play on and then decided to give North the benefit of the doubt, so it'll come back to Simpkin.
Should have kept going.
Simpkin from left half forward, kicks to the hot spot. They all fly. No mark taken. Coles there. Stevenson gathers. Got tackled. Good pressure came from Witherden. Now to Hoff. Might have been taken around the shoulder. Umpire says no. Pink got him legally, according to those in the lime green, and takes him to ground. Go up in front of North's goal. 20 metres from their goal. Beautifully rode down by Sherry. Curtis tried to get a kick away. It hit traffic. Hoff was able to pick it up. And then Gaff sensibly under pressure. We'll see it across the line for a rush behind. North Melbourne, they move to be 4 behinds. The Eagles are 1-4-10. 6.5 gone in the second.
Just nice professional fumble. Andrew Gaff to get it across the line. Game 278. He fumbled it. Fairly uncontested possessions. The ball comes out to the wing. Officially the first touch now. The debutant Jack Hutchinson tries to kick it inboard to Waterman. He was tackled straight away by Cord. Dispossessed. Shields came through. Ball in congestion on the wing. Simpkin eventually took it from the pack. Shared it with Sheasel. Now the young man gets it back. Little chip over the top to Wardlaw. He's 55 from home. Just has to wait. Pushes back off his mark. Now sees something he likes inside the attacking 50. It's over the head of Larkey. Curtis able to take it off the pack. Sheasel to Stevenson. And North get there first. Jaden Stevenson on the end of it. Able to roll through. An easy finish. Like that. Scores are level. 7.5 played in the second term at 1 goal 4 apiece. Perth Stadium, Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wheeldon, our experts Sharon Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Just that turnover football then that North Melbourne were able to sweat on. I think it was Hutchison. Probably not the right decision. He had a couple of numbers running down the right forward flank with him and tried to centre it up. So, I mean, I can understand what he's trying to do, go through Waterman, but use the numbers around and then you're able to defend it a little bit easier.
Yeah, he had Liam Ryan out in front of him.
Yeah.
Could have been with a handball over the top. He probably walks inside 50 to have a shot on goal. Hits your target. Good press by Core.
Scores level from the restart. Flynn put it into Sherry. It bounced back.
It's on the ball.
And then that was gathered by Sheed, who took on Sherry, took him to ground, and that is holding the ball. Sherry decides to play on by hand. North will send it inside forward 50. Good mark. Fisher with the kick. He's unable to spot Pink. And Pink marks on a 45-degree angle to the left of centre. He'll go back and have a shot from about 45 out.
He's overlapping well, Fisher. A couple of his decisions going inside 50 haven't been great, particularly in the first term, but he's provided a bit of overlap, get a run from behind. And there, that was a great kick.
Toby Pink has just 1 goal. What is a 7-game AFL career as of today. It's going to stay that way at the moment. It's out to the right. Won't even have the distance. Stolen by Sheasel. His kick was smothered by the Eagles' defence. It came back to forward, then to Wardlaw. He took on Jindy. Surely that's holding the ball. Surely.
No consistency once again from the umpires.
Goodness me. The Eagles don't mind. They go up the middle. Hutchinson couldn't quite get there. Sherry's able to gather. Hand passes back towards Tucker. It's gone high. And it's going to be a free kick the way of Sherry. The Eagles fans will be filthy about that. It was absolutely holding the ball a moment ago. Great tackle from Jinby. Oh, Sherry's made an absolute meal of it. He tried to take on Cripps, who racked him up. And he gets done. That is holding the ball.
Oh, awareness. Stepped off the line.
And there's 50 as well going to Cripps. Because my only suggestion is it was Sherry who was told to stand. He didn't. He ran away. Go back defensively. Tucker stood there, and that will send Cripps right to the top of the goal square.
I have no idea if that's what it was, because
It's the only thing it
Aidan
could be, really.
Cole looks a little confused as well.
I think he was asking the what's that for?
Yes, correct.
So here is Cripps from right in front to give the Eagles back the lead. Simple as you like. West Coast have their seconds. 2-4-16. North Melbourne remain 1-4-10. We've travelled what is now 11 minutes into the second term. There was, well, just a few of those moments in that last 60 seconds.
But that's odd, because Sherry was nowhere near it from the get-go.
Guys, there's a player on the
There's
mark.
a player there on the mark.
Nothing happened at the source. Was it further up the field?
Doesn't have to be Sherry on the mark.
Doesn't? Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be unless he's been told to stand there.
The other player would have had to move.
It looks like the out-of-zone umpire had paid it for something further up inside the forward 50.
Okay, that makes
Just
more
watching
sense.
the replay then, neither of the umpires at the contest actually blew their whistle.
Yeah, okay. Makes more
So
sense.
something must have happened, and maybe that's why Aidan Core looked a bit
Amused.
confused. Either way, ball back in the middle. This time North Melbourne were able to get the clearance. Hoff, though, first on it for West Coast, was slung to ground by Paul Curtis, though, was able to get the handball away, and now Duggan can kick the Eagles towards half forward. Hutchinson spoiled from behind. Tucker had a fumble. Now he dives back in for the Roos. And Darling's also there alongside Jermaine Jones. The ball will be tossed up just beyond the attacking arc. Left half forward for the Eagles. Bailey Williams and Sherry go at it. Petrocelli roved it from the pack. Duggan tried to step through traffic, was dispossessed and gone. So Sherry wins the free kick. Goes short. Wardlaw to take the mark under a little bit of pressure from Bailey Williams, but able to take it comfortably in the end. Has the socks down with the black boots. Had the socks up in the warm-up, George Wardlaw, but he's pulled him down as he kicks up the wing, and Harry Edwards takes the intercept mark for the Eagles.
Much improved player.
Much improved.
Much improved.
Round of applause as he rolls and kicks towards half forward, but Darling flies. Big fist from behind. Can't take the mark. Yo clearing kick out to space. Foot race on. Who gets there first? It was Tucker for North Melbourne. Waterman had him, though, and the umpire pins him holding the ball.
Core again asked the question, what was that for? But I reckon he knows this time. Comes back towards Waterman. 60 from goal. He goes short and he finds Cripps, who marks. 45-degree angle to the left. He can have a shot from inside 50.
Good bit of connection there between Waterman and Cripps, who was feigning to work back hard at goal, and then little tick back lead at Waterman at just the right time.
Jamie Cripps can certainly kick them from this distance. Has one today, 16 for the season. Shots on its way, and he's missed to the left-hand side. Remiss of me not to mention before.
You had to say that out loud, didn't you?
What?
Usually kicks these ones.
No, I said he can reach them from this distance.
I know what you're going to say because I've missed it as well.
The 300 goals to Jamie Cripps after the free kick. We were all focused on the 50-metre controversy.
I was wondering why they all got to him.
Ball comes off hands from the restart and goes out of bounds. Yeah, we were all focused on it. I don't think any of us
Trying to work out why is he standing at the top of the goal square rather than the 300. Well done to Jamie Cripps. 300 goals just moments ago.
Great effort.
Great effort.
Small forward.
Premiership player in 2018. Obviously came across from St Kilda. Congratulations on the milestone as ball's bobbling around in congestion on the wing. Neither side able to gain clean possession. Ryan eventually did for the Eagles, but he's tackled and the ball ricochets off his handball, goes out of bounds. The ball will be tossed back in. In between wing and half back. Broadcast side of the ground here at Optus Stadium.
Long way back, these rucks.
They haven't been able to get to the ball a couple of times from the boundary throw-ins. This time Sherry did take it out of the ruck. He kicked a tumbling ball towards Stevenson. It was knocked away from him and immediately tackled and taken to ground was the Eagles captain, Liam Duggan. Ball tossed back up in the air. Sherry Tapped it out into space. Sheed stood up in the tackle. Got it to Petrocelli. Loops a handball over the top to Yo. Has Cully in support. His handball put him under pressure. He tried to get it back to Yo. Eventually tries to tap it to a teammate. Sheasel, though, did well for North Melbourne. Stole it. Gave it to Tucker. His kick, though, misses Stevenson. Cole just knocks him off the ball. Wins possession for West Coast. Gets it to Sheed. Kicks it up the wing. Yo manages to keep the ball in play. Little handball over the top. Went back and got his own ball. Was tackled immediately. Got a free kick. And the Eagles take advantage. Cully has it. 55 from home. Kicks it towards the top of the square. Darling drops the mark. Waterman overruns it. McDonald under pressure. Handballs it into his own goalpost for a rush behind. The umpire says being tackled, that constitutes enough pressure. 2-6-18 the Eagles, 1-4-10 North Melbourne. 16 minutes played, second term.
Kangaroos moving short up the corridor from the kick end. It's marked by Powell after Core kicked it his way. Core runs by, receives the hand pass, and then he collides with Liam Ryan. They both go to ground. Kicks beyond defensive 50, off hands. Cully's there for the Eagles to Petrocelli. Tough hand pass for Sheed to get to. Couldn't gather. It's been locked in. Good defending here from West Coast inside their forward 50. Just as Tucker was trying to get away with it, he was brought to ground. Ball up inside West Coast's attacking 50. Darling against Pink. Darling wins it down. Ryan's in hot pursuit. Trying to tap it to his own advantage. Threw out the right boots. Couldn't get to it as it's already gone over the boundary line for a throw-in. 35 around from the Eagles' attacking goal. They're heading to the right of our broadcast position, the city end of Perth Stadium. In his second quarter, West Coast lead by 8, 17 gone in the second.
Darling in the ruck against Pink. Came back to Pink, actually. Ended up winning the clearance, did the young Roo. He's kicked to the wing, the sub. Eddie forward on the ground in the orange boots. Kicks it towards half forward. Larkey tracking back, takes the mark. No one inside the forward 50. Slipped over. Now the numbers start to rush back. He plays on, goes short. Stevenson drops the mark. Runs back towards the ball. McGovern was there to meet it for West Coast. So too Chesser. Feeds it back to Duggan, whose clearing kick is out in front of Hutchinson. He's happy the first game up to see the ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Larkey just had a slip as he rolled towards an open 50.
It was a beautiful kick to Stevenson. Just dropped a sitter.
Had a look, Jaden Stevenson.
Just had to commit.
Does have North Melbourne's only goal so far today. Does the former Magpie as ball's knocked down. Simpkin takes it off the pack, kicks it towards Zerha. McGovern was there to meet it though. On hands and knees is Curtis, tackled immediately by Witherden. It'll be a ball up 40 metres out from North Melbourne's attacking goal. 1-4-10, they trail the Eagles 2-6-18.
Ball thrown aloft. Bailey Williams won it down for the Eagles. Zerha merges with it. Throws it towards goal with the right boot. Trying to wrestle his way free was Larkey. He's up against Harry Edwards, who wins that battle. On McGovern, gave it straight to Sheasel. Hand pass into the goal square. Larkey spins and picks North seconds. Not often you would see that. A mistake of that magnitude from the West Coast Eagles in defence, but that's an absolute clanger from Jeremy McGovern. And it's given North their second goal. They're 2-4-16. The Eagles 2-6-18. West Coast lead cut to 2 points at the 19-minute mark of the second.
There's a couple of missed calls here. All looked like it may have gone out of bounds, and if it didn't, then Edwards got a high tackle and
He kept it in.
Yeah.
He could have just fallen over the line.
That is the question with Edwards hard up against the boundary, why he hasn't just stepped across the line. But it's still that thing where Jeremy McGovern just doesn't make those blues like that.
He was surprised that the ball came back to him.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Just kick it.
Kick it.
Take it to 50 out.
Well, he also could have walked it across the line too. There's all those things that
very strange.
Could have happened.
We do need a bit of Benny Hill music today.
Yeah. It's been an odd game.
It has been like that under the overcast sky here at Perth Stadium. Let's hope the rain just stays away. As the ball's back in the middle, Williams has been pinged for holding the ball off the contest. And Wardlaw is the recipient of the free kick. Disposal number 7 coming up for the young Roo. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Barris flies high. Spoiled it straight down though to the hands of Ford, the sub. and his snap couldn't curl it around enough. It's a minor score. 2-5-17 North Melbourne, 2-6-18 West Coast. It's a 1-point ball game, 20 minutes played in the second as I turned myself off early. It's that type of day.
It has been Duggan. Kicks the right hard back to Hoff. Strange things have been happening. Hoff moves it down the line. Cully, good sliding mark. One of the 3 Eagles picked up in the mid-season draft in this game. Marrick's still on the sub-bench. The other making his debut after being selected 11 days ago. I speak, of course, of Jack Hutchinson in the 44. The Eagles moving across half-back with Duggan and now to Witherden. He'll switch play towards the southern wing. Waterman is there to mark. Back in the team this week after a shoulder problem, costing the game against St Kilda. Here is Hutchinson now marking. Hutchinson hard up against the boundary, just forward of the southern wing. Grey old day in Perth. Kicks inside forward. Jinby was allowed to mark. There were 2 North Melbourne players standing within touching distance. Neither of them flew with him. He just leapt up and was able to caress the football down, marking in front of his forehead.
That was very strange. Again, like Dawson, almost as if he was looking for a front and centre. There has to be a contest for a front and centre generally, Dawson.
Strange days indeed. Here comes Jinby from 49 metres out in the left forward pocket. He puts it across the face. It's punched through for a minor score. Eagles double their lead out to 2-7-19. The Roos are 2-5-17. 22 gone in the second. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our experts Sharad Wellingham and Shane Wowo.
North Melbourne will bring the ball back into play again. We've said that a couple of times. A few behinds kicked today. Fisher kicks it up to the wing. Comben had front position, couldn't win it. The ball goes back inside the forward 50 for the Eagles. Ryan takes the bouncing ball and he's tackled immediately. Umpire Matt Nichols quick to blow the whistle for a ball up.
I don't think it is Matt Nichols.
It's not Matt Nichols. I thought it was for a moment. Then I realised it's not. The ball tossed in the air. Petruccelli comes through the pack, took on a couple of tacklers, was dispossessed.
It's a high fend anyway.
And eventually, he
high
was
fend or holding the ball.
Take your pick.
A compressed ground when Kangaroos have the footy.
North Melbourne able to clear defensive 50 this time. The Zerha, long way from home, kicks it in towards centre half back. Fisher takes the mark, takes off quickly, gets it to Larkey, long way from home. It's in the middle of the centre square, goes wide, very wide, looking for McDonald, able to take the mark now, rolls onto his left. Normally a long kick of the ball, kicks it towards the top of the square. And Zerha was able to read the drop of the ball, get rid of his opponent and take the chest mark. Terrific work rate from Cam Zerha. He'll go back, set shot, 20 metres out, slight angle to the left.
That is massive work rate from Zerha and really strong in that contest against Tom Cole. Owned the drop zone perfectly as he called there.
Cameron Zerha comes in, set shot, no problem. Zerha gets his first and North Melbourne are in front. 3-5-23. They lead by 4 points over West Coast. 2-7-19. 23.5 played in the second term. Mitch Turner, Clint Wilden here for Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden alongside us.
I really liked the hit up from Larkey there. That just makes the West Coast defenders so much more accountable, doesn't it? He's come up through the midfield at the teammate coming through the middle of the ground, and it just means that you aren't able to get that drop off that they want so badly, West Coast.
Shifted it laterally, waited the forwards to get back inside 50, reset for one-on-one.
For those wondering, by the way, the umpire out there with the blade one, Martin Roger, number 37, 34th game today in the AFL. A telling clearance, but eventually North were able to work it out through Wardlaw. Strong stuff from him. Hand pass wasn't great. His team had a real task. Jones immediately tackled Tucker. Just coming to the football, Jones got him.
Should turn and get on the boot. Wardlaw trying to over-invent something that's not there.
Both rucks have a touch. Cully tries to get to it, runs straight into Scott, who tackles him.
Just get your team some territory.
They are so high, aren't they, North Melbourne? They're not one North Melbourne forward inside their 50.
Flynn palms it down to Cully again. Tackled immediately. That's by Simpkin. Ball up once more. We should expect some strange things. I forgot to say, we are in the twilight zone today here in the west. One down again by Flynn. Petrocelli can't gather. Neither could Wardlaw. Yo got rid of him illegally. It'll be a free kick for North Melbourne. Wardlaw to have it at left half back, who I reckon is probably now the favourite for the Rising Star, as he'll move it short. Gets it on to Tucker, standing hard up against the boundary. Tucker will look to come down the commentary wing. Kicks towards left half forward. Big pack up. Oh, Zerha flew. Got hands to it. Couldn't mark. Came down in the direction of Flynn. Ford harassed him out of it, and he was tackled by Yo. Hacked forward by Sherry. Cole was there for the Eagles, though, and he gave it off to Gaff, who thumps it towards centre wing commentary side.
Ball came off hands. Fisher couldn't take the mark. Cripps won it for the Eagles. Gave it to Petrocelli. Tries to get it back. Oh, to the former Saint. Was just driven into his head over the ball. The umpire closest to the action said play on, and the non-officiating umpire called the free kick, and Cripps takes it, kicks it into the pocket, and finds Cully in space.
That was an odd one, wasn't it? Because the closest officiating umpire was 15, 20 metres away, and he's put his arms up. It's not like he didn't even see it. He's thrown his arms straight up in the air and called play on.
Cripps was stationary, bending headfirst over the ball. The player just crashed into him. It was an odd one, but
I mean, to be honest, Cripps almost directed his head towards where the traffic was coming from.
Out for 399 days. It'd be something special for Jai Cully, but his left foot snapped. He was unable to bend it back around the body. He'll have to wait for that oh my gosh moment. It's another minus score. 2-8-20. The Eagles 3-5-23. The Kangaroos.
Fisher with the kicking duties into the left back pocket to McDonald. Roos by 3. 27 gone in the second. Kick goes towards left half back. McGovern wrestling away with Curtis. And McGovern will get the free kick on this occasion.
Not sure about that. General one-on-one. Fighting out of his division. Clearance plus 18 to Kangaroos right now.
I don't know if he is out of his division there. Curtis, I think, benches like 150 or something.
Does he?
McGovern long inside the right forward pocket. Bounces over the boundary line for a throw-in. He's giving away a little bit of height and certainly a bit of shoulder breadth.
What does he weigh?
I mean, if only we knew.
Very good. Very good from you, Mitch. Who can say? Throwing in again. Bailey J. Williams got the tap. Onto it is Cripps. Cripps from right full forward has missed. Putting it across the face. Misses left. Minor score. 2-9-21 the Eagles. They trail North by 2. 3-5-23. 28 gone in the second.
North Melbourne once again bring the ball back into play. They've done 9 times so far. The Eagles 2-9. They have caught something from their crosstown rivals in Fremantle. They managed to turn their kicking woes around last week, but now the Eagles have caught it. They win the ball back on the wing. They kick up towards half forward. Williams slid in, couldn't take the mark. Scott's there. The Kangaroos able to get it out to Tucker on his left side. Kick up to Zerha. Can't take the mark originally, but has time to get back on it. Gains possession in space. Now kicks up towards his captain in Simpkin. Takes a solid mark under pressure from Cole. Simpkin. Kick and a half from home. Sets it up to the hot spot. Larkey's there, but he's edged out of it brilliantly by Harry Edwards.
It's a lot of confidence to take a mark like that against a really, powerful key forward in Larkey.
Thought Sheasel could have gone then. Come across and take that one.
Takes intercept Mark Edwards. Goes out towards the wing for the Eagles. It's off hands. Tries to claim the mark, Archer, and the umpire was happy enough with the attempt. So North Melbourne have the ball, and the son of a gun kicks it inside the forward 50. Finds the sub in forward, and he centres the ball up to Larkey.
Ford's been good since he's come on.
He has, hasn't he? He's a really good size as well. Probably kind of that Zerha type height, and not sure what his weight, as we all know, but he looks strong and powerful, doesn't he?
Had the 4, had an impact.
Nick Larkey, normally very accurate from the set shot. He's kicked 1 goal already today. This one is a little pokey, a bit up and under, but it goes straight through. Larkey has 2, and North Melbourne extend their lead out just a little bit. 4-5-29. They lead the Eagles by 8 points, 2-9-21. We've played 30 minutes late into the first half. Larkey has 2. North Melbourne have the lead.
Just Edwards caught napping a bit there. Have to pay way more respect to a forward like Larkey. He's looking at sagging back, and Larkey just in a really dangerous spot.
The ambush has started.
The ambush has started. Definitely.
In the fight, that's where we need to be.
19
Clearance.
points from scores from turnovers in the second quarter alone. 139 for West Coast.
Clearance is going further and further in the way of North at the moment, 27-10.
We've got a free kick for being held. Davies Uniacke against Yeo, and he'll stab the pass short to Scott. Can they get another one before half-time? Scott goes right up the corridor with the kick. Barrett's front position might have been spoiled by Harry Edwards. It spilled back to Cole. He's tackled strongly to ground by Ford. Ball up right in front of North Melbourne's attacking goal, heading to the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. Throwing up, Sherry looked to win it down. Tap back by Bailey J. Williams. Duggan couldn't gather, neither could Sheasel. West Coast might be very relieved that is half-time, because North Melbourne started to look like they had some sort of control of this game as we headed towards the major break. They'd lead by 8 points, 4-5-29 to 2-9-21. It is a grey old day here at Perth Stadium and in the west. Plenty of rain expected later this afternoon. And the temperature is a cool one, about 19 degrees at the moment. That's, of course, hello to Brett Delidio, cool by WA standards. 4-5-29 North Melbourne, 2-9-21 the West Coast Eagles. The goal kickers for North, 2 to Nick Larkey, singles to Zerha and to Stevenson, while for the West Coast Eagles, their 2 goals coming from Cripps and Darling. We did think that this could be a chance for North Melbourne coming off the bye, and with the Eagles without Harley Reid and without Tim Kelly. And that's the way it's panning out, not just on the scoreboard, but in the clearances as well. Shane Woden, Sharad Willingham, our experts, Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Talk us through the first half.
4 goals forward, 1 goal 5 that quarter, and marginally inside 50s in front. But again, dominating around the ball. Kangaroos. West Coast got to wake up their mids at the moment. They're getting smacked.
They're getting absolutely smoked.
Smacked in the contest, right?
Smoked in work rate as well.
Yeah.
I think, they've got to look, can Dommy Sheed stay with someone as powerful and dynamic as Uniacke? He can't stay with him, and he's just able to spread and get from contest to contest, which is what they're relying on. And although they haven't looked great going inside forward 50, they've just had it in there, more times. And inside 50s, 13-10 for that quarter. It's not a huge amount, really. I think West Coast have done quite well to get it in there as many times as they did when they're losing the clearance and contested possession battle as much as they are. Yeah, relying way too much on having to rebound it all the way, and they're not running hard enough today.
And they've closed the ground, the Kangaroos. They're making the ground really small in offence. So I reckon they want a contest game, which brings their mids.
Yeah, they don't want to have any, like Concertina, dropping off, do they? They don't want to play with any length. Bring it all up, make it nice and tight, and then
get them out the back.
You get them out the back, and so it's why it's condensed around the footy, and they're able to get those clearances. I think at the moment, I don't know. It's still not a really attractive version of football by any stretch from either team, but. North Melbourne are winning the ugly football contest at the moment.
Yeah, and their pressure's up, their tackling pressure's up. Plus in the tackle area too, so they're bringing the heat around the contest, which has been really important. I've loved Fisher off half back. At least he's providing some run and some overlap and trying to make things happen. Occasionally letting himself down by foot, but giving some real bounce off half back too. So Cherry's been solid in there. I'd like to see Flynn more up against Cherry in the ruck,
right,
a little bit more so, and allow Williams to stay more forward, just to be able they can compete and try and get themselves in the game there, because the inside mids of the Kangaroos right now is give them that field position, give them territory, and a little bit played in their front half.
I reckon, definite tick to the North Melbourne mids, probably a tick to the North Melbourne defenders, and then probably a tick to the the West Coast defenders. So 2 out of the 3 lines probably go to North Melbourne at the moment, and West Coast backs are probably keeping them in it. It's been pretty dour from the back few key defenders. Edwards is playing a pretty good standard of football today. I know he hasn't had a lot of the ball or anything, but he's been pretty reliable in the contest, hasn't he?
Yeah.
If they can tidy up the not the efficiency, but just the way they kind of go inside 50, we could get a different result on the scoreboard.
Yeah, if any West Coast put speed on the ball, they'll hurt the North Melbourne. Better get the game going off turnover, and because their speed will trouble the Kangaroos in the transition going out of the way. But full credit to North Melbourne. They've come across here. They're in the fight, away from home. Crowd's not really up and about for West Coast at the moment. They're not giving anything for them from a spectacle point of view. So they've silenced them, which is really important when you're on the road. And they're in the fight. It's good.
They certainly are. Zach Fisher said his club liked their chances of causing an upset. And at the moment, they have the lead here at half-time. North Melbourne, looking for their first win of the year, are up by 8 points over the West Coast Eagles. 4-5-29 to the Eagles, 2-9-21. Repeating that result from earlier today, Hawthorn by 6 points over GWS. They continue that long run of success that they have in Launceston. A Bruce goal with a minute to go after a downfield free kick. He was still had to finish it though, hard up against the pocket. Hawthorn winning 12-13-85 to GWS 12-7-79. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear from you as always, wherever you happen to be. 0437 774 774 is the number to text us on ABC Sport on Saturday Footy. 0437 774 774, and I'll run through some of your texts in just a moment because we're going to pause here. Saturday Footy on ABC Sport to take the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The federal opposition has confirmed it would dump Australia's 2030 climate targets as it pursues a nuclear energy policy. The coalition argues Australia will fail to meet its 43% emissions reduction target and there's no point pursuing it. The commitment was made under the Paris Agreement, and watering down or dumping the target would force Australia to withdraw from the global pact. Shadow Energy Minister Ted O'Brien says the coalition remains committed to net zero by 2050 using nuclear power, but the 2030 target can't be met.
When it comes to our energy policy, that will be released in due course. But we will not accept from Labor an ongoing dishonesty, trying to tell the Australian people that everything's going well. This is turning into a train wreck for our economy.
Slightly cooler conditions are forecast for parts of the US southwest over this weekend following record-breaking heat. Las Vegas set a new record high of nearly 44 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and temperatures there are predicted to continue to hover in the low 40s. However, forecasters say the week-long heatwave that's baked much of the southwest earlier than usual in the year is now moderating. However, the US National Weather Service warns that may be short-lived relief before unseasonably hot weather returns during next week. Ukraine's Air Force says defence units have shot down 9 of 13 drones fired in Russia's latest aerial attack. It says it's also downed 1 Russian missile. A regional governor in eastern Ukraine says the drone attack has damaged commercial and residential buildings as well as a power line. Meanwhile, Russian-appointed officials say at least 23 people have been killed in 2 separate Ukrainian missile attacks in Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine. The search continues for missing British TV presenter Michael Mosley on the mountainous Greek island of Symi. The doctor and healthy living advocate has been missing for 2 days, with security camera footage potentially offering new clues about his movements. Authorities say the vision confirms the 67-year-old made it to the town of Petty more than 20 minutes after he left his wife for a walk along a rugged coastal path.
We have eliminated the possibility he had an accident along the footpath because there were people who saw him with an umbrella and hat walking through town.
The government of Brazil is to ask Argentina to extradite more than 60 people who fled there after alleged involvement in post-election riots last year, following the defeat of Brazil's former right-wing leader, Jair Bolsonaro. The BBC's Leonardo Rocha has more on this story.
The riots happened on January the 8th last year, roughly a week after President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva took office. Hundreds of Mr. Bolsonaro's supporters were arrested, charged and released on bail. Many of them have fled to Argentina since the inauguration of the right-wing president Javier Milei in December to request political asylum there. The Brazilian government believes the riots were part of a coup attempt orchestrated by Mr. Bolsonaro, who refused to accept his defeat in a tightly contested presidential election. He denies any involvement.
Back home in Queensland, Premier Stephen Miles says the state government is investigating concerns raised about members of the state's parole board. The parole board is a statutory authority responsible for deciding whether prisoners should be granted parole. The ABC understands some members of the board were not properly appointed, potentially making some of the board's decisions invalid. Mr Miles says the government is investigating the allegations.
The initial advice is that even if that's the case, it won't affect the parole that has either been denied or approved, but we will wait for that further advice and take rectification action if that's necessary.
A shipment of cacao powder from South Africa to Australia has been found to contain more than 2 tonnes of cocaine. Brooke Chandler has the story.
The sea cargo was listed as more than 5 tonnes of cacao powder, but when officers from the Australian Border Force and Australian Federal Police examined the consignment, they found about 2 tonnes of cocaine instead. Investigators replaced the drug with a decoy powder before the cargo was released for delivery under surveillance. On Thursday night, New South Wales Police arrested 2 men in their 40s in Sydney's southwest. They've been charged with importing drugs and are due to front Parramatta Court today.
To sport and in AFL, Hawthorn has upset GWS in a tight affair in Launceston, notching its 6th win of the season. A goal by Luke Bruce with a minute to play gave the Hawks the lead after a seesawing final term. The final score was Hawthorn 12-13-85 to GWS 12-7-79.
Sport and Spice brings you the big picture conversations and plenty of fun every week.
Turned around and Fox was on the shake leg, which was pretty special, gave me goosebumps.
So yeah, that's my decision to wait because I don't think I'm physically and probably mentally ready for that.
That language just has no place in our game.
There's nothing more isolating than not being able to change who you are and then feeling like you can't do what you love.
Hosted by me, Declan Byrne and Lavender Bai, listen to Sport and Spice on the ABC Listen app or find it in the Best of ABC Sport folder wherever you get your podcasts.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Ball and congestion on the wing. Simpkin eventually took it from the pack, shared it with Sheasel. Now the young man gets it back. Little chip over the top to Wardlaw. He's 55 from home. Just has to wait. Pushes back off his mark. Now sees something he likes inside the attacking 50. It's over the head of Larky. Curtis able to take it off the pack. Sheasel to Stevenson. And North get there first.
Sherry's able to gather and passes back towards Tucker. It's gone high and it's going to be a free kick the way of Sherry. Oh, Sherry's made an absolute meal of it. He tried to take on Cripps, who racked it up, and he gets done. That is holding the ball. And there's 50 as well going to Cripps, because my only suggestion is it was Sherry who was told to stand. He didn't. And that will send Cripps right to the top of the goal square. So here is Cripps right in front to give the Eagles back the lead. Simple as you like. West Coast have their seconds. Ball thrown aloft. Bailey Williams won it down for the Eagles. Zerha merges with it. Throws it towards goal with the right boot. Trying to wrestle his way free was Larky. He's up against Harry Edwards, who wins that battle. Oh, McGovern gave it straight to Sheasel. Hand pass into the goal square. Larky spins and kicks North second.
McDonald able to take the mark, now rolls onto his left. Normally a long kick of the ball. Kicks it towards the top of the square. And Zerha was able to read the drop of the ball, get rid of his opponent and take the chest mark. Terrific work rate from Cam Zerha. Will go back, set shot, 20 metres out, slight angle to the left. Cameron Zerha comes in, set shot, no problem. Zerha gets his first and North Melbourne are in front.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Half-time at First Stadium, North Melbourne 4-5-29 lead the West Coast Eagles 2-9-21. Couple of text messages to get through before we hear the stats with Mitch Turner. Palermo Sicily, go Dockers. says someone.
From
Texting
Palermo,
in.
Sicily.
Yep.
Oh.
Enjoying the call from
Beautiful.
Modelo Beach.
That's where my family's from, Sicily.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Up in the northwest
Sicilian on
corner
my
there?
mother's side.
Okay.
Palermo's a
Archie
beautiful
family.
spot.
I've been to Palermo. I've been to Vicenza, Bassano del Grappa.
Well, I meant the kind of areas. Palermo's a little bit. It's a little bit kind of hustle and bustle within, you know.
Okay.
I prefer the kind of regions around there.
Mum was just in. She's in Paris. She's just sent me a photo. The Eiffel Tower today. The Olympic rings went up on it,
Ooh,
and they
nice.
just lit it all up.
Yesterday for the 50 days out.
Yeah.
of the
Nice.
Olympics. That's
She
what
just
I
sent me all the
said.
photos.
Where's the torch at the moment?
Oh, it's West. She'll have to
Love
track it down.
Love the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's how exciting this game has been so far, but it might be better in the second half.
No, I love the Olympics myself. Really looking forward to that. From Catherine, Paul says, West Coast should put a pair of boots on Aussie the Eagle because they look better than some of the West Coast players are playing at the moment. Well, we know Aussie's following team orders today, so... Sorry, pardon me. Fiona of Perth, you guys are doing a great job commentating this Benny Hill game of football. The last passage of play, says Fiona, in level 5 had us all in the stands doubled over in laughter. Did everyone have greasy chicken for lunch? It did feel that way at some stages. Neil's in Coburg. I'm 65. I'm a North supporter from my nappies days. I'm lost as to where the light is. The demise began back in 2019. Management of the Leafs since has been abysmal. The 1930s regarded as our worst decade. More games now. Our win percentage is worse. Noble, Clarkson had little chance. That's from Neil Walsh. Neil, stick with the Roos. They're in front at the moment. And I love this from Joe on 0437 774 774. Is your commentary between North Melbourne and West Coast sponsored by the Eagles today because it's so biased? Joe, I've got to tell you, West Coast have just sent us a message and said that they're pulling our sponsorship because we thought that this was a danger game for them.
Yeah.
And that
We've all been on the North bandwagon.
North Melbourne could get them in an ambush. So that's how biased we've been today. You bullhead. Let's have a look at some of the numbers. 4-5-29 to North, West Coast 2-9-21. It's North by 8 points. What have you got for us, Mitch Turner?
Well, just quickly, the Olympic torch is getting to Guyana, I believe it is. So that's where it is about to come into in the next 24 hours. There's your update if you're following the Olympic torch relay. The numbers here, though, from Perth Stadium between West Coast and North Melbourne, who are leading by 8 points. The disposals, 172, the way of North Melbourne to 157, the Eagles. The kicking efficiency, North Melbourne going at 64%, the Eagles at 67%. Contested possession count, North Melbourne lead that 70-60. They lead the tackle count as well, quite convincingly, 49-29. The hit-out count going the Eagles' way, 26-17. The clearances, though, as mentioned by Sharrod and Shane on numerous occasions, 28-9. The way of North Melbourne. The inside 50s, 23 apiece. The individual stat getters, Zach Fisher, in terrific form the last month. He has 16 disposals, leads all comers on the ground. Harry Sheasel behind him on 15. Darcy Tucker, Jai Simpkin and Tom Powell all on 12. For West Coast, Jeremy McGovern has 15. Alex Witherden, Jack Petrocelli, Jamie Cripps and Jai Cully in for his first game in almost 400 days. They all have 10 disposals apiece as well. 4-5-29 North Melbourne, 2-9-21 the Eagles.
They're telling stats, having a look. North plus 20 in tackles, plus 10 in contested possessions, plus 17 in clearances. They are telling stats.
They've had the ball 15 more times.
19, sorry, in clearances.
They've had the ball 15 more times in total, but have laid 20 more tackles than West Coast.
Stan from Victoria, 0437 774 774. I'm stewing from the GWS loss. You're not alone, Stan. They are not what they could be. How are you chaps going calling this game and your experts? It's been intriguing here on the Twilight Zone, and there have been many weird things. West Coast have been out on the ground for a good 2 or 3 minutes as North have just made their way out. You wonder whether it's been one of those situations where the coach has said, "Get out. I've got nothing else to say, just get out there." Because they were out very, very early, West Coast. And Adam Simpson has an interesting conundrum at the moment because of their efforts earlier in the season. Last week was fascinating looking around the ground. Normally get within 14 points in the last 2 years and West Coast fans would go away happy. They were genuinely disgruntled they lost to St Kilda. There was an expectation that they should have won. You can't then turn up if you're West Coast after that and then lose to the side who are bottom on the ladder.
Cannot.
So they have to improve, and it's been a big week for the club. Apologies, Joe, we're talking about West Coast again. But it's been a big week for the club with the celebrations of the 94 premiership. And they're in the house. They want to put on a better display than that for the 45,000 of the year.
They looked a little bit bemused. Like at the siren, Yo, Gaff, a couple of the other guys were like, what are we doing? Like, it looked like they almost had a, dumbfounded look across their faces.
On the other side, though, how hungry would North be? They're in a position to win. You haven't had a win this season. This could be their best chance for a long time to get on the board. They lead by 8 points. They must be, you'd think they'd be fired up at half-time.
And players read the record. We've seen them in the rooms. I always wonder when this comes out. The record today that's got a picture of the Eagles 94 premiership team on the front. In the talking points, the first talking point, North Melbourne, chance of suffering its first winless campaign since Fitzroy in 1964 is on the cards with another loss today. If that didn't fire you up,
absolutely,
that'd fire you up.
No. It's always intriguing when that one gets trotted out. I wouldn't have been bringing it up this early, but they have lost every game so far this year. The cash voted quickly.
Just a quick update on conditions. We're getting the first little sprinkling of rain down here.
Let's go. Second half. North lead by 8 over the West Coast Eagles. Here's Mitch Turner.
Be Flynn v Sherry again to go at it in the ruck. The bounce was a little skew. Sherry ran onto it. The umpire let it go. Probably should have called it back. It went well beyond the circle, but umpire comes in quickly and tosses it up. Flynn tried to knock it to a teammate. Powell came through for the Kangaroos, was dispossessed. The umpire said he got rid of the ball illegally, so Yo win the free kick for West Coast. Kick up towards the attacking side of the wing. Cripps marks it. Kick and a half from home. Goes to the lead of Waterman inside 50. And this time he gets away from Aidan Core. Takes the mark with arms outstretched. He'll go back for the set shot. Jake Waterman, he'll kick from about 50 metres out, side angle to the right.
It's obviously rewarding the lead from Waterman, but Cripps needed to swivel his head there because he had Cully standing all on his own in the middle of the forward 50. Just had to hit him. But that's what the forwards do, don't they? They attract the eyes.
Full stretch too.
And he'll be pretty confident, I'd imagine, Jake Waterman, with the way he's been kicking the ball.
Has that left shoulder strapped. Missed last week. Has been terrific from the set shot all season. Kicks right from the paint of 50. The umpire shuffles the crab walk to the left, and that's the way it goes. It misses. So behind again for Jake Waterman. The Eagles 4-5-29. 2-10-22. North Melbourne a 4-5-29. It's a 7-point margin.
Oh, Joe will be on to you, Mitch, as the Kangaroos bring it from beyond defensive 50 towards right half back. Big pack up. Bailey J at the back, able to gather. Gave it to Whitton. Oh, crunched by Zerha. Ball jarred out to Flynn, though, for West Coast. Kick towards centre half forward. Scott's back there for North. Hands it off to Tucker from right half back. He'll kick down the commentary wing. There's a free kick, a downfield one as well. Tucker got dealt with after he got the kick away. So it'll be brought towards right half forward for North Melbourne. Larkey will take it. He's too far out to score himself. Glances inboard for a moment. Comben was there, but Bailey J. Williams too close to him. Larkey will have to put it inside forward 50. He will. Into the right forward pocket. Oh, wonderful grab. Coming up, Barris.
He loves it.
Dragged down a screamer. Outstanding defensive mark. Came from a long way back. Only eyes for the football. Great mark. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Ginby went up. He couldn't gather it. Will slide out, attempting to get it a second time. Hand pass shoved forward by Shields for North. Came to Davies Uniacke. Gave it on to Stevenson. He'll kick towards the attacking goal square. Harry Edwards is back there to mark for the Eagles.
Edwards' kick out is a little dangerous. Scott was able to knock it away from Chester, and Hoff in the end decides to let it roll out of bounds. Still inside North Melbourne's forward 50.
That mark from Barras was
shades of Leo Barry.
Leo Barry.
Yeah. Not quite the stage.
Not the stage, but
all
it was
the importance.
The execution, it looked exactly like Leo Barry's, didn't it?
It really did. It was in the same part of the ground as well, deep in the pocket.
Where was Ty Connelly holding on to someone? Hello, Ty.
Ashley Sampi, hello to you as well. Cash Fodder downstairs. He'll be talking about that for years. The ball goes back inside 50 for North Melbourne. Larkey couldn't take the mark. Coming through was Ford. Couldn't get the ball on. Now the ball's bobbling around inside North's attacking 50. Cully was able to extract it, but West Coast kicked it to the wing, and Waterman was just far too strong for Scott. A mismatch on that occasion. Takes the mark, goes inboard to Yo. No one on the mark. Didn't even look up the field initially. He was looking inboard. Eventually, though,
just to wait for the numbers to reset and get forward. Nothing to kick to at the moment.
2 spare North Melbourne defenders planted in really good positions defensively.
Petrocelli had the ball on the wing. Kicks up towards Cripps. Has 1 goal to his name so far today. He kicks it across the ground. It's a dangerous one. McGovern's in a 1-on-3. Taps it to himself. Has a lot to do, McGovern. Did very well in the end just to make a contest, but the Kangaroos win it back. Davies Uniacke steps out of traffic. Gets it to Simpkin. Kick towards half-forward. Larkey comes out. Meets the ball on the bounce. Has the consent with Barras. Gets back onto his right boot. Has numbers streaming forward. Stevenson takes it on the bounce. Brilliant smother by Harry Edwards. Outstretched arms saved a certain goal. And then Ruben Jinby was held by Shields on the outlet, and the Eagles win the ball back. Terrific by Harry Edwards on the last line of defence.
How laconic was he there, Stevenson?
North had 2 options when Larkey kicked the ball towards full forward. How did they not convert?
It was a poor kick.
Great effort from Harry Edwards.
Absolutely.
Still.
Absolutely.
But nailed it.
Have to capitalise.
No intensity from Stevenson to go at it.
Well, you've got 2 players that you could hit on the chest. You don't. And then Zerha runs by. Stevenson takes an eternity to get a shot away. Take nothing away from the spoil. Nothing from Harry Edwards. But North should have kicked the goal. Ball to throw in, commentary wink. Comes down to Sheasel. Got it on to Simpkin. Kick ricocheted off Duggan. Comes back again to Shields of North. Ball passing to the middle of the ground. She gets taken high by Sheasel. He'll bob up for West Coast. They trail by 7 points. Wobbly looking kick isn't a good one. Scott brought it to ground. Back there comes to Tucker. Got it originally from Fisher, and it's been locked in just inside or just on the very top of the arc of 50 metres for West Coast. Cross half forward for the Eagles. Sherry with probably the more telling tap, but it went down to Yo. He shoves Powell out of the way. Got a hand pass out, stolen by Sheasel. Umpire says it's a throw, and they'll take the advantage here, North, though there was none there to be had. Scott's kick was smothered. Comes back inside their defensive 50. Archer looks to caress a kick to Sheasel. Jones won it down. Cripps gathered. Hand pass to Sheed. Great tackle from Taylor. Holding the ball with a call. And Taylor will have the free kick in the left back pocket for North, who still lead by 7 points. 6 gone in the third.
Taylor assessing his options. Still deep in defence. Eventually goes for a trot. Kicks it up the wing. Big pack forms. Barras, big fist from behind. They'll straight into the lap of a teammate in Jones. His short kick finds Waterman on the edge of the centre square. Kicks towards Darling. Can't take the mark. Had McDonald right there with him. Crown wanted a free kick. Wasn't forthcoming. Stevenson, a long way from home this time, kicks it up in front of Zerha. Had a dodgy bounce, had to go back and get it. Hoff pushed him off the ball. Shields handballed to no one in particular. Davies Uniacke is pushed down. Now players are just crashing in. Somehow it falls out the back to Davies Uniacke. Kick towards Larkey. Can't take the mark. Gathers his own crumb. Runs into open goal. And Larkey has 3. In a game where only 7 goals have been kicked, Nick Larkey has 3 of them, and North Melbourne have extended their lead. 5-5-35. They lead West Coast 2-10-22. It's a 13-point margin, 7.5 played in the third term. Mitch Turner here alongside Clint Wilden for ABC Sport. Our experts Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Well, that was a great bit of collect from Shields coming through the contest outside 50. It was almost like a little Irish, Gaelic solo. He's flicked it up, kept running through the contest, and then a bit of bash and crash, and then Davies Uniacke comes crashing through the next contest. Really good, it's kind of surge football from North Melbourne there.
North have definitely lifted again. Can the Eagles respond in any way? Bailey J. Williams wins it down. Jinby onto it. Hand pass to Williams. Great tackle. Wardlaw got him. That's a ripper.
That's desire, isn't it?
Oh, this kid is a bull.
That's my new rising star, just there.
Yeah.
Wardlaw.
That's effort. It's outstanding.
Effort and skill. Went towards left half back. Taylor, dangerous kick in the direction of Fisher. He was infringed in the marking contest. He'll have the free kick for North at left half back.
It's just intent. Never give up.
Kicks into the middle of the ground. Finds Sherry. Between half back and the centre circles. Pauses for a moment to assess what's in front of him. Kick inside the forward 50. Long kick up the corridor. Pink was there. Came off his hands to Sheasel to Davies Uniacke. Stepped inside Chesser. Kicks towards Larkey. Couldn't take the mark at full forward. Spills to ground. Forward got it back to Larkey. He's got 4 for North. The Kangaroos, they are up and about at Perth Stadium. North's lead is out to 19 points at the 9-minute mark of the third. Larkey with 4 of them. Goodness me, there's troubles now for West Coast. Our experts here on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport, Sharrod Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Davies Uniacke again, isn't he? He's just so composed in traffic. That last line of defence just isn't holding up at the moment for West Coast, and waltzing through the sidestep. They're just unable to. They're not watching the hips. They've got to get low. We know he's a great player, Davies Uniacke, but
how did he
making them miss?
How did he see him in the sidestep? He was behind him. Unbelievable.
Heard him.
He's a terrific player. Luke Davies Uniacke. Second in the BNF last year. Missed a couple games with injury. He'll be right up there again. As the Eagles do this time. Managed to surge it forward a little bit. Jinby was caught, then Gaff was caught as well, and the umpire said he threw the ball away. So North Melbourne managed to keep the ball in their possession as Scott goes up the wing to Sherry, gives it to Stevenson, steps around Sheed, now gets a kick inside the forward 50. Barris is out. First jumper for the Eagles, couldn't take the mark, was pushed off the ball in the contest. Eventually it falls to ground level, and McGovern and Ford tie up. It'll be tossed up inside North Melbourne's attacking 50. Larkey's got the last 3 goals of the game. He's got 4 in total. The ball's back in North's attacking 50 again. Stevenson picked it up, kicked it towards Pink. Couldn't take the mark. Coming through the pack. Oh, the sidestep again. Twice, 3 times. Davies Uniacke. He centres the ball and he finds Darcy Tucker 45 metres out directly in front. They cannot lay a glove on Luke Davies Uniacke at the moment.
He doesn't panic, does he?
No.
He's composed.
Creates space for himself and then makes a decision based, on all the space he provides himself, or creates for himself, I should say.
Darcy Tucker, former Docker. He's kicked 3 goals for the season. He's directly in front, kicks it straight into the man of the mark. Cole got the spoil down. Now the ball's bobbling inside the North attacking 50. Jones went without it for West Coast. Ford was able to get a handball back to Powell. Kicks inside the forward 50. Zerha can't take the mark. Gaff wins it for West Coast and clears it.
Kicks to a 2-on-2 on the southern wing. Trying to get it out. Hutchinson gave it to Cripps. Now to Waterman. Throws it on the boot. It'll go towards the boundary line. Archer got there first. Can he keep it in? He can, and move it on towards left half forward, and then Ford got in front of Cully and took it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
You can see that happening from here with Darcy Tucker. Kicking in the man on the mark. Just got so close. Good by Cole just to stay in the moment. Man the mark properly.
Ball spun in again. Eagles fans trying to find some voice as Flynn knocked it down. Sheed's out after it, getting in front. Doing his best to was Powell, and then spun out of trouble. Kept it in magnificently. Stab pass to Sheasel. Eagles fans thought it went over the boundary. Umpire saw it differently. Sheasel into the left forward pocket. Larkey! Got in front of Barris. Hands were good enough to take the mark. 40 out from goal. He will start from beyond the boundary in the left forward pocket.
Got the hot hand at the moment, doesn't he? Get it in there. He's taken 6 marks, kicked 4 goals.
All-Australian last year Three-time leading goal kicker for North Melbourne. Here comes Larkey, looking for 5 and delivering for North Melbourne. Stick with us, Kangas fans, because right now you're in the box seat to end your drought for 2024. North's lead is 25 points at the 13-minute mark of the third. They've kicked 7-5-47. The Eagles have 2 goals, 10-22. 13 gone in the third, I repeat. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Let's head downstairs to Cash Fotodar.
West Coast have made their sub. Ryan Marrick is on the ground. We're just waiting to see who will make their way to the back of the benches. No one has gone there yet. And still can't tell who's moving to the back of the bench, so I'll let you know when I do. But at the moment, we do know Ryan Marrick has been subbed into the game.
We'll wait to see who the Eagle is off the ground. 4 in a row for Larkey in his haul of 5. He's having some sort of day as Petruccelli, this time for the Eagles, was able to win it in the middle, kicks it, trying to clear the centre square, but a great mark taken by Liam Shields, former Hawk veteran, standing up in some big moments today as he goes across to Sheasel, kicks inboard to Archer, has the ball on the wing, a cash downstairs quickly.
It's Harry Edwards who has been subbed out of the game.
Okay. Harry Edwards thought he'd been okay today. Sheridan Shane, but subbed out of the game.
Yeah. Maybe they don't want 3 big.
Wow. The kick into the middle of the ground was to Comben. Darling got there late. The umpire looked like he took just a moment to have a think about it, and in the end has paid a 50-metre penalty against Jack Darling. And Comben will go inside the attacking 50 and have a chance for a set shot on goal directly in front, 40 out.
I'm feeling helpless at the moment, Adam Simpson. There's not a lot he can do right now from the coaching box. He's just got to ask something of his players to be able to dig deep here and find something.
Charlie Comben hasn't kicked a goal this season. It's a thumping kick, but it's away to the right. Too close to the man of the mark.
Yeah, I thought again.
Shane Woden says so. 7-6-48 North Melbourne, 2-10-22. The Eagles a 26-point margin in the third.
Eagles with a kick in towards right half back. Waterman flew, got it down to Gaff and then to Ryan. Broke the Archer tackle with his arms. Handed it on to Cole to move it forward and can't get it to Gaff.
Great work by Archer. Competed early in the marking contest. Then pressed forward and make the tackle to force this one out of bounds.
I wonder if West Coast glance up into the corporates and spot some of the 94 team. A few of those blokes would be able to have a crack today as well. They still look like they're in almost match shape as North win it again from the restart. And Wardlaw will send it inside forward 50. No mark taken. Comes down again to Stevenson. It's been held to him. No prior. Ball up at half forward for North. Like the attack from Ford as well, trying to get to the football.
Jermaine Jones is one who they put into the defensive half now, probably trying to provide some run.
Sherry won it down for Davies Uniac. He was tackled the moment he got it and taken to ground by Jinby. Eagles fans wanted holding the ball, but no prior there. Right decision.
Is Jinby gone to him now?
Ollie J. Williams wins it down only as far as Simpkin. Kicks North towards their attacking 50. Again, a big pack up. It's off hands, and Zerha dealt with Witherden. Witherden's gone down. Ball still to be won. Ford was over it, comes out the side, but Duggan was there. Got it for the Eagles, gave it to Barris. Under pressure, gets a kick away, around the body towards left half back. Marrick couldn't mark it. Tapped down again. Quick hands through Simpkin. Then to Fisher, now to Sherry. Kicks North back into the right forward pocket. Barris flew. Again couldn't mark, came out the back. It's been locked in. Hoff had it. Larkey tackles him. Ball up. Right forward pocket for North Melbourne, who lead by 26. 18 gone in the third. Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Sherry v. Williams. Sherry tapped it down beautifully. Curtis roved it, kicked it high in the air. Barris v. Larkey. Larkey almost took the mark from an out-of-position spot. Didn't in the end. The kick clearing out for West Coast. Beyond defensive 50, Ryan v. Archer, and Archer just pulled down the West Coast player and Liam Ryan. He wins the free kick, wants to play on quickly, does so, gets it to Witherden, the kick up the wing. finds Brady Hoff. Goes short. His kick doesn't quite get to Cripps. Has to gather on the bounce. Eventually got it back from a teammate. Now kicks it towards half-forward. Hutchinson couldn't take the mark. Comben, did he hit in front on? Yes, he did. Well, if something can get the Eagles fired up, it might be the debutant Jack Hutchinson if he can go back and nail his first goal in AFL footy.
They certainly need it, don't they?
Yeah,
might actually just give him a spark if he can knock this over. And then just celebrate a bit of success with it.
Yeah, a bit of emotion into the game because it doesn't feel like there's much there at the moment.
Drafted just 11 days ago out of Victoria. Can't seize the moment. It's a minor score away to the right. 2-11-23 West Coast, 7-6-48 North Melbourne. It's a 25-point margin. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
West Coast's last goal, the 11-minute mark of the second term. It's Fisher with the kick into Core in the right back pocket and gives it back to Fisher.
They've defended well, North Melbourne, haven't they? They've looked organised behind the ball. There's been no fast transition from West Coast.
Here comes Fisher with the kick down the line. Davies Uniacke got a hand to it, spilled out. Barras couldn't quite gather. Picked up by Sheasel. Hand pass back into traffic, taken by Darling of West Coast. Sends it back into the left forward pocket. That's courageous by Call. Players coming from every direction. Stood there and was able to take the mark before going to ground. Moved it quickly to Fisher. Finds Simpkin. Marks in the left back pocket for North. They still lead by 25 points as we head towards time on in this third term, looking for their first win of the season, the Kangaroos. Will it come in the west as Zurhaar leads up and marks at left half back for North?
Looking fairly comfortable at the moment, North Melbourne. Not too phased.
And they're happy to go long in the line again.
Slower ball movement at the moment, but they look relatively untroubled. Not a lot of pressure on them as the ball comes off hands. Duggan's in there for the Eagles. Can't take possessions. Jones tried to crash through, and the umpire said that the tackle from Curtis is in the back. He wants to go on with it a little bit. Jones and Curtis are tangled up, and the umpire still circling. Now Wardlaw and Cole involved. He will pay a 50-metre penalty for the extra treatment that Curtis gave Jones, who's got his strapping tape on the left shoulder now hanging off. He'll get marched all the way to just outside the forward 50. Sets it up to the pocket. Who's going to fly from West Coast? Oh, Comben at the back. Almost took a ripping mark for North. It spilled down off his hands to Fisher. Bouncing ball beyond attacking 50 for the Eagles. Williams takes it. Gives it to Hoff. Kicks it back towards the hot spot. Hutchinson flies. Can't mark. Yo! Rose off the pack and misses. Oh, the Eagles fans went up. They thought they'd finally broken through. But he missed the left foot snap from the top of the square. 2-12-24 West Coast. 7-6-48 North Melbourne.
Rabbit from Rockingham says West Coast today couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. That's how Elliot Yeo would feel at the moment. He's got it again. Kicks from left half forward to a 2-on-2 inside forward 50. North will emerge with it again. Tucker to Core. Where's that going? He's trying to find Archer's missed him. It's just bounced inside the boundary line. It right full forward for West Coast and tumbles across for a throw-in. It couldn't be deliberate because it was so horrible.
Butcher that.
Oh. Well, he's wearing
was it insufficient intent?
He's wearing blue and white stripes like the old school butchers were. It was a butcher. Wardlaw was clever. Spun his way through traffic from the restart. Fisher kicks into the middle of the ground. He's Pink. Gets a hand pass away to Zurhaar, who kicks straight into Witherden. Had it for West Coast and puts it back towards right half forward. Oh, Sheed almost collides with Gaff. Sheed slid out. Gaff running the other way towards goal. Took the mark over his shoulder. From right half forward, kicks inside forward 50. Big pack up, no mark. Ryan juggled it, kicked it out of midair, missed the lot to the right. No change to that score. Out of bounds on the full. North of 7-6-48. The Eagles 2 goals, 12-24. 23 gone in the third. And a reminder, the Eagles haven't kicked the goal since the 11-minute mark of the second term.
It's a good smother by Witherden. Curtis was out the back and gone.
That goal was off the boot of Jamie Cripps. Seems like a long time ago. It was from a 50-metre penalty as well, which we're still not sure what it was from, as the Eagles go inside attacking 50 again. They're pushing at the moment. Comben was dispossessed. Liam Ryan flew through, couldn't take the ball. Petruccelli spins, gets it to Gav. Can he step up? No. The snap didn't have enough on it. Tucker was there playing goalkeeper and just knocked it through. So another minor score, 2-13-25 the Eagles now. 7-6-48 remain North Melbourne. 23-point margin, almost 24 minutes played.
Here's North at right half back. Larkey's able to get it to Wardlaw. Kicks out to right half forward. Davies Uniacke marks right up against the boundary. He stepped up his line, so he's told to play on. And has to do so through Stevenson, who just came on through the interchange gates. Fortunate for North. Kicks inside forward 50. No mark taken. Curtis broke one tackle. Gave it away to Simpkin. Right half forward. Kicks towards full forward. They come from everywhere. Zerha, front position, couldn't mark. Brought it to ground. Picks it up again. Tackled then by Cripps. Ball flicked out the side. Umpire, though, first had said we're going to ball it up.
What was that from Stevenson? He had three players in front of him.
Went the torp.
And went the torp. My goodness.
Throwing up. Sherry took clean position and then clean hand pass forward, and umpire spotted a free kick.
There goes Sheasel.
Hold against Gaff.
He made it known too, Sheasel, didn't he? He did. Hands up.
Made sure that they spotted it. Sheasel going back to look to try and kick North's 8th. Definitely had the arm around the right shoulder, though. Threw his arms out to ensure that the umpires spotted it. Sheasel looking to add his name to the list of goal kickers. He starts in line with the right hand behind post. He shoots from 35 metres out. He puts it through for another for North Melbourne. The Kangaroos edge closer to their first win of 2024. Their lead is 29 points at the 26-minute mark of the third. 8-6-54, West Coast 2-13-25. Saturday footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, streaming on the ABC Listen app. As always, look for the AFL button. Our experts today in the West, Sharrod Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Free kick.
Every day.
Yep.
Unnecessary as well. Like, he was actually in a good position, Gaff. It just
decided to put the arms around his neck.
North Melbourne are showing some fight, aren't they? They are, cracking in at every contest, running really hard across the ground. They can definitely feel it today.
Just the 6th goal of his career. Harry Sheasel spent a lot of time across half-back, as playing more in the middle now. Liam Ryan in the middle of the ground. The Eagles have pulled the trigger. He wins the free kick. Gives it to the run of Jones. He's on his wrong side. Needed to get back onto his left. Instead gave it across to the run of Cole, who goes short. Is able to hit Jamie Cripps. The last Eagle goal kicker has the ball. That was the 11-minute mark, as Clint Wilden says, of the second quarter.
Got to do something, West Coast, with the Magnets, don't they? Just to get something. I'd even get Brady Hoff inside. As a young 18-year-old was playing inside mid-appeal, give a bit of speed, something different.
Normally pretty good from the set shot. Jamie Cripps has one already. Kicks from 45 metres out. Side angle to the right. He drifts it across the face. It's off hands. Williams tries to claim the mark. The umpire's not fooled. Keeps it in play. Gives it to Marrick. Off to Hutchinson for his first goal. The umpire says it's a throw, and it's a 50-metre penalty.
How are they supposed to know that?
It fell to Hutchinson. He snapped the goal. The crowd was about to erupt for the first game, and now they are checking. The umpire and goal umpire are conferring to see whether the ball actually went over the behind line before the throw even occurred, because that will... And that negates the 50-metre penalty, because play would have stopped before that. So all the players had run down the field to get ready for the 50-metre penalty, but
the back of the behind line,
as you can hear, The original kick on goal by Cripps did in fact cross the behind line, so it's a minus score and the players will all reset for the kick in. The Eagles will move to 2:14.26, now trailing North Melbourne 8-6-54, 28-point margin. North will have the ball for the kick in.
Here come North Melbourne. Looking beyond defensive 50 towards right half back. It was Fisher with the kick in duties. It's off hands. Goes back over the boundary line. 50 out from the Eagles attacking goal.
2:14.
5 behinds in this quarter.
Kills you.
Coast. Spun in again. Flynn versus Sherry. Flynn stretches out, got it down. Petruccelli couldn't take it cleanly. Yo could. Hand pass to Ryan. Hand pass off to Sheed. And Sheed from the left forward pocket has missed for West Coast from 35 metres out. 2:15.27 to North Melbourne. 8-6-54. 29 gone in the third.
They are having a shocker in front of goals, the Eagles. The kick comes out from the restart to the wing. Barris trying to punch it back towards his attacking 50. Davies Uniacke was able to track it, give it to Sheasel, and then Simpkin. Some of the North leaders getting involved. The kick goes up the wing towards Larkey. Witherden did well to knock it away from him. McGovern did the roving. Then off to Barris. His kick up the wing, though, was to no Eagle at all.
Just got to use your numbers. Had him around him.
Sherry took the mark. Opposed to Flynn, he kicks it up the wing, and the siren sounds as McGovern, just in frustration, launches the ball into the crowd off the fist. But what a quarter for North Melbourne, completely dominating West Coast in the third. 4 goals to just 6 behinds for West Coast. 8-6-54 North Melbourne, 2:15.27 the Eagles.
So what was an 8-point advantage at halftime for North becomes a 27-point lead with 1 quarter to play. Nick Larkey has kicked 5 goals. North Melbourne have kicked the past 7. For North, as I said, Larkey with 5. And goals to Stevenson, to Sheasel and to Zurha. That's their 8s. For West Coast, their 2 goal kickers as they were at half-time, Darling and Cripps. Earlier today, the Hawks by 6 points over GWS here at Perth Stadium. It's a grey old day in regards to the weather and the conditions. It might be for the home side as well. Can North break through for their first win of the season? We'll find out in a quarter's time. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app, this is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
If you love country music, you'll love ABC Country.
You get a fast car.
It's Australia's home of country music. The music you grew up with.
You'll be the captain.
All the latest country hits.
I ain't proud of all the punches that I've thrown.
And emerging artists.
Because, baby, we've been apart.
24 hours commercial free. ABC Country. It's on your DAB Plus digital radio and the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Players just crashing in. Somehow it falls out the back to Davies Uniacke. Kick towards Larkey. Can't take the mark. Gathers his own crumb. Runs into open goal. And Larkey has 3.
Long kick up the corridor. Pink was there. Came off his hands to Sheasel to Davies Uniacke. Stepped inside Chesser. Kicks towards Larkey. Couldn't take the mark at full forward. Spills to ground. Forward got it back to Larkey. He's got 4 for North. The Kangaroos, they are up and about at Perth Stadium. Sheasel into the left forward pocket. Larkey got in front of Barris. Hands were good enough to take the mark. 40 out from goal. He will start from beyond the boundary in the left forward pocket. All-Australian last year. 3-time leading goal kicker for North Melbourne. Here comes Larkey. Looking for 5. And delivering for North Melbourne. Stick with us, Kangas fans. Because right now, you're in the box seat to end your drought for 2024.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
North Melbourne by 27 points over the West Coast Eagles at Perth Stadium. Our next stop on our Saturday smorgasbord is the Saints and the Suns. Matt Clinch to call the action. Clinchy.
Clinton, the Gold Coast Suns entered the Bombers' 2-month unbeaten run last week and they took their spot in the top 8. Tonight, they look for their first away win since round 9 2023 when they beat the West Coast Eagles. They could announce themselves as a genuine September contender tonight. The Saints are 15th with just 4 wins from 12 games this season, failing to reach the heights of last year, but they did snap a 3-match losing streak when they edged past the West Coast Eagles last week. It's also the battle of the identical twins, Ben and Max King at either end. Ben, equal leader in the Coleman medal with 36 goals alongside Charlie Cameron, but Max has had the bragging rights in the 2 previous occasions in which they've met. Who knows, maybe Davian Hardwick might even walk away from Docklands saying he liked the venue if they get the 4 points. Lauren Borden to call the action alongside Nathan Burke and Brad Sewell. Seb Ross and David Swallow the subs tonight for the Saints and the Gold Coast Suns.
Reckon you'll like it even less now. It's a genuine away trip for Damien Hardwick. Shane Woden, Shade Willingham. Surely North break through. Surely they break through from here. What can West Coast do? Because they've been nothing other than awful.
I don't know what they can do, really, because they're just getting smashed in the contest by a hungrier North Melbourne, getting outworked. I don't know where this has come from, because it's probably, almost back to what we've witnessed over the last couple of years, really, isn't it? I mean, just no desire.
Well, we thought the loss to Adelaide was one of those, bleeps that they'd left behind, but yeah,
it turns out it's not.
They came out early after half-time. That didn't work. And they were just, more competitive, hungrier outfit.
Hungrier.
North Melbourne.
You can see it.
They couldn't get their hands on it. I'll put it fairly square in the mids right here, right now.
100%. I mean, you look at who's gone in there, though. They're trying Flying Ryan in the midfield.
Just a couple quick stat getters. Zach Fisher leads all comers on the ground with 30 disposals. He's done that the last few weeks already. Harry Sheasel has 24 for the Eagles. Jerry McGovern has 19. Jamie Cripps has 16. North Melbourne lead by 27 points. So we get ready to start the 4th and final term here at Perth Stadium.
Plenty of premiership players in the ground. The 94 team, of course, for West Coast, and 9 premiership players still out there for West Coast. Barris, Cole, Darling, McGovern, Cripps, Duggan, Yo, Shee and Ryan. They've put in another awful performance. Can they find a path to redemption, West Coast? Can North celebrate their first win of 2024? Let's find out. A quarter to come on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. And a shocking bounce to get us started. It'll be brought back. Twilight Zone is throwing up a few weird things. Here we go again. Sherry against Bailey J. Williams. And it's Williams who rings it down for the Eagles to Simpkin. Tackled immediately by Yo. Taken to ground. There was no prior. Ball up the call.
Ball security by Simpkin there. Didn't cough it up.
Bailey Williams looks to slap it forward. Ryan tries to run onto it. Got a shin to it. Back there's Wardlaw gathered. Hand passes back inside defensive 50. Chance for North. Oh no, Cully got in the way of Archer. Gathered it. Hand pass. Overrun. He couldn't get to it. Yo. Now a chance to rebound. Simpkin brings it away through Scott and then back to Simpkin. They'll bring it to the commentary wing and then a short pass towards the boundary in front of the Eagles interchange gates, marking it Stevenson. He'll bring it back inboard to Wardlaw. North looking to control the footy. Comes again to Fisher. Stabs the pass towards left half forward. Well done to Sheasel. 2 kicks from goal. Sheasel short and all on his own. Inside forward 50. With enough time to set up a picnic table, put out the blanket as well, was Simpkin.
Well,
simple mark to him.
That's what all the West Coast defenders and mids were doing. They looked like they were setting up for a picnic and just guarding the grass around the picnic blanket. It was pretty lazy, terrible stuff.
Jai Simpkin back in the side after a quad injury for North Melbourne. The co-captain's on his way from right on 50, sends it towards goal. The North fans at the Farmer Freeway end stand as one. And every kangaroo comes to him. They say, welcome back, and what a finish. He delivers the co-captain. That might almost do it. It's a 33-point margin in favour of North Melbourne in the opening 2 and a bit minutes of the final term. 9-6-60 North, 2-15-27 West Coast. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Why didn't she come forward to take him? Just sitting back. He's 5 metres in front of him. Didn't want to defend. Forwards didn't want to squeeze up really quickly.
It's an indictment on the way the West Coast are playing. Given that I was about to say, Fisher's just running around by himself today. And then Simpkin was even further afield in a more dangerous spot by himself. And now North, from the restart, are going to go forward again. Kick towards half forward. Sheasel going back, can't take the mark. West Coast able to win it back. They're under immediate pressure from the Kangaroos. Stevenson handball was knocked down to Jones from West Coast, and he's tackled by the captain in Simpkin.
Clearance is plus 25.
Smoked.
Right.
Ball up. Left half forward. Who'll win the clearance from this contest? It's bobbling off bodies. Eventually it comes to Yo. Manages to break a tackle. It's the only way the Eagles could win the ball in that situation. He got it out to Cripps. Takes a bounce on the wing. Gives it over the top to Jinby. Swings back onto his left boot. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Waterman out on the lead. Takes the mark. He's had a relatively quiet day. He's had 12 touches. Jake Waterman hasn't kicked a goal yet in his return to the side. He'll go back 40, 45 metres out and a 45-degree angle to the right.
Would like to see McDonald press forward there onto Jinby.
Just dropped.
He folded
off,
back.
didn't he?
Yeah, he had to come forward. Would have put pressure on the ball carrier.
To say the Eagles need this goal desperately would be an understatement. And Waterman, as he's done so often this year, has delivered. It ends the run of 8 straight North Melbourne goals. West Coast get their first since the 11-minute mark of the second quarter. Jake Waterman gets his first. The margin is cut back to 27 points. 9-6-60 North Melbourne. The Eagles now 3-15-33. Just 4 minutes played in the final term. Sharrod Wellingham and Shane Woden.
12 players didn't get to him.
Yeah.
12 West Coast teammates didn't get to Jake Waterman. Right then and there, I reckon that was a perfect moment to go, right, let's go.
Let's get some energy.
Let's get some energy.
Yeah, nothing.
We're back in this.
I mean, it was a piece of individual brilliance from Yo at the clearance as well, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't drawn up that way, that clearance, but you take it when they come.
And the bounce. It's not a great one. Flynn was able to win it down, got it to Yo, kicks West Coast immediately, long inside forward 50. Ball came from Comben at the back, got both hands to it. Yo tapped it in the direction of Sheed. Hand passes inboard to Duggan, runs to centre half forward, kicks in the direction of Waterman, stretches, can't mark against McDonald, picks it up hard against the boundary. Short hand pass was back to Darling, under pressure from McDonald. North have defended that pretty well. It's a throw-in, 25 out from the Eagles' attacking goal at the city end of Perth Stadium. Boundary umpire unfurls. Sherry palms it down and then elects to just hack at the ball on the bounce, and then Cole drops the mark. He should have had it at left half forward, and Adam Simpson is left scratching his head on the big screen as if to say, how has this got a throw-in as the result? Left half forward for West Coast, who's still trailed by 27, 6 gone in the last.
Ball spun back in. Sherry to the front. Tapped it to Sheasel. He was immediately caught by Yo. Cully. He tried to clear it from the pack. Eventually Yo goes back in. On hands and knees. Tossed a handball out. Sherry and Petruccelli are both over the ball in a twister-like position. The umpire will ball it up. Then Sherry again. Both get a fist on it. Straight in the air. Comes down to Sheed for West Coast. Gets it to the run of Duggan. Was able to shake the tackle. Kicks it up into the forward 50, and McDonald was able to knock it away from Darling. I think Yo's been massive in this last quarter, but he's a little sore and tired behind play, willing himself to this contest. They still trail by 27 points. West Coast, it's deep in their attacking 50. Flynn takes it out of the ruck, snaps on goal, and he kicks his first goal in Eagles colours. Matt Flynn, in a big moment, stands up, goes to solo effort. And all of a sudden, the margin's back to 21 points. And do the Eagles dare believe? 4:15.39. North Melbourne 9-6-60. 21-point margin, 7 minutes played. Shane Woden, Sherrod Wellingham.
Yeah. Is there a breath? There's a pulse.
A little bit of hope. That's first goal for the club.
Yep, first goal for the club. Bit of Tommy Hawkins playbook, that one.
Yeah.
Push out the opposition ruckman, take possession, quick snap. It was a pretty good play. Chloe and I having a quick little laugh back here. The two grumpy full-backs in McGovern and Barras were the only two guys who didn't get down there.
We're not going down there.
They're allowed to. They can stay where they are. The Eagles will get the clearance from the middle again after it was one down. It comes to Ryan. Oh, Ryan takes a bounce and then a second, goes to a third. Under pressure, gets a grubbered kick away. Right. Sherry has done really well to put pressure on him. It'll bounce over the boundary line in the right forward pocket. And Ryan, who really should have been able to absolutely race away from Sherry, couldn't. Wonderful effort from the big ruck from North Melbourne. Thrown back in. Flynn looks to punch it forward. It'll land in space. Archer goes back. Got it to Fisher, who kicks out of bounds on the full. And then he wasn't happy with something that was said by Jimmy.
Reversal, but he's come in and chucked a fist as well. Doesn't look happy, Fish.
I believe he's reversed it, hasn't he? Zach Fisher will get the free kick. Yeah. Jimmy whacked him late.
So Jimmy's given away the free, has he? And then having a look, Jimmy knocks him in the back with the elbow, and then Fisher gets up and then throws the right back at Jinby. So it was reversed. North bring it towards the centre wing position. Wardlaw got tackled, lost it. Jermaine Jones has to race backwards for a minute. Dangerous kick in the middle of the ground. Providing the contest, though. Well done, Duggan. Got support from Hoff. Back to Duggan. Kicks towards centre half forward. Compton with the spoil for North. Wardlaw slipped over. Gaff gathers. Hand pass missed the target. Barris back again on the logo. Commentary wing. Kicks towards right half forward. Compton marks. Has it at left half back for North.
Game's alive. Crowds are up and about a little bit now.
Where have they been? 21 points the lead, North Melbourne, 9 and a bit gone in the last.
How big will that moment be for Ruben Jimby? Reversing the free kick would have been a set shot on goal for West Coast. Kick up the wing from North Melbourne. Barris was able to punch it towards Gaff. Got a handball over the top to Sheed. High kick towards Darling at half forward. Common in the back, spoiled it. Down to Hutchinson. The first game with a brilliant handball. Cripps runs in the goal. Handball over the top to Waterman. The Eagles have got another. Waterman has 2 for the quarter. The Eagles have 3 in the final term. The margin is back to 15 points. 5:15.45. North Melbourne 9-6-60. Oh, Kangaroo fans, it's nervous times.
Just soft drop here. Didn't kill the contest. Went the mark. Could have just spoiled it 20 metres to get out of the area. Allowed the ball just to fall at the feet. Bring West Coast into play. Joey the Goose over the top. Again, heartbeats getting faster. Here it is.
After going almost 1.5 quarters without a goal, West Coast have now kicked 3 to start this second term. A massive cheer as Flynn wins the tap down in the middle. Sheasel couldn't gather. Cully's hand pass was to Jimby. Got a hand pass away to Gav. Now to Ryan inside forward 50. Hands it off to Marek. Salts and Candy. Has to get away from his own teammate. Snaps on goal and misses. She got in his way in the left forward pocket. And it's another minor score for West Coast. 5:16.46 to 9-6-60 North. 12 gone in the last. 14 points the margin in favour of the Roos.
This now makes it interesting because North can't save it from this point. They've got to still play to win.
Kick out defensive 50 is able to find 4. The Eagles fans have found their voice in this final term. Powell goes short to Davies Uniacke. Has the ball backward of the wing, kicks it further up the wing now. Pink couldn't take the mark. He had Flynn there for company, and then Sheed and Ford crash into each other. The ball goes out of bounds. The crowd attendance goes up 43,276. The official attendance today, North Melbourne, they lead by 14 points. They've led ever since half-time of this game. Can they hold on to this lead and get their first win of the season? The Eagles, again, win possession at the source. Kick up towards half-forward. Big pack flies. McDonald came across, punched it into the path, though, of Marrick. Gathers it side in the pocket. He's under pressure from the North Melbourne defence. Tucker has it in his own goal square. Cheeky kick over the top. Is able to find Callan Dawson.
North Melbourne, great. Spotted in the crowd. Boomer Harvey, games record holder.
Sort of breakfast for the Subiaco Football Club this morning. Kicked beyond defensive 50. So was Justin Langer, by the way. Free kick going against West Coast. Will come here to Zurha. He's got it at left half back.
He used the short.
Spins the red Sharon over in his hands and will kick towards the commentary wing and then going up to take the mark.
North Melbourne did a really good job then of isolating the spare. Flynn was in the contest but just unable to impact.
It was Pink, who takes as much time as he's allowed and then will kick into the left forward pocket for North Melbourne. McGovern flew. Larkey behind him almost took the mark. McGovern tried to get a hand pass out. Davies Uniacke stole it away. Can't breach the Hoff tackle. The kick was along the ground towards goal and Chesser made sure with a rush behind. Curtis was right there. Minor score, 9-7-61 North Melbourne, 5-16-46 the Eagles, 14 gone in the last.
Inside 50s for this quarter and 9 to West Coast, 3 to North Melbourne.
Couple of short kicks. See the Eagles have the ball already beyond defensive 50. Duggan on the back edge of the square. Uses the run of Hoff coming past. Kicks it up the wing to Gaff. Takes the mark. Wants to go quickly. Rolls onto his left boot. Kicks it inside the attacking 50. Darling at the front. Couldn't take the mark. Williams fell down. Fisher in traffic. Oh, set his teammate up into trouble in Shields. Now McDonald's over the top of it. Doesn't want to drag it in. And eventually the Eagles throw their hands on the ball as well. He gets away with it. It'll be a ball up. 45 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Williams taps it back into the corridor. No one there but Coleman for North. His kick inside the centre square. Cole did well to punch it down. But Simpkin wins it for North and kicks it out into space with a foot race on.
Jones left it, able to gather. Nicely worked to Chesser. Kicks back inside forward 50. Waterman front position. Spoil came at the back from North Melbourne. Sheasel able to gather. Breaking the tackle. 1 then 2 from Simpkin. Got away from Waterman. Hand pass straight to Marrick though. Hand pass to Jones. Cole was there in support. Not sure what to do with it. Gets a kick away inside forward 50. It's allowed to bounce. Pink tries to gather. Yo goes to ground. Slapped it back into traffic. Comden got a hand pass away. Ford tries to go to it and he gives away the free kick. Attacking the football was both he and Witherden. Witherden got there first and he got taken high. And Ford will make his way straight towards the bench. Witherden with a chance to have a shot at goal for West Coast. He'll put boots a ball from about 47 outs. He'll start a little bit wider than the right-hand behind post.
A little bit clumsy, wasn't it?
A bit clumsy, but it was good attack on the ball from Witherden.
Absolutely.
Alex Witherden hasn't kicked a goal this season. What a moment it would be if he can change that. The kick's on its way. It looks all right. It is through. And he runs towards the crowd on the broadcast wing, arms out and says, "Get up and about, West Coast fans. Let's hear from you." What a final turn we've had. After 3 quarters of ho-hum, it's rocking at Perth Stadium. North's lead is cut to 9 points. They led by 33 at the 3rd minute of the final term. West Coast 6-16-52. North Melbourne 9-7-61. And in regards to the scoring, it has been West Coast with the last 4 goals.
Yeah, momentum, hard thing to stop, and particularly for a young group with North Melbourne right now. Tails are up, West Coast. Just got to find a way to just nullify this momentum, get a score on the board.
43,000, and they are making themselves heard here at Optus or Perth Stadium. This time the ball coming out of the middle, North Melbourne's way. A free kick given. I don't really have to point which way it's going, I'll tell you, because the Roar will let you know that it is the home side. Jermaine Jones wins the ball back. Goes wide to Duggan. His kick over the top of Cripps. McDonald committed hard. Cripps trying to track it back. Couldn't quite keep it in. The ball is out of bounds. Still plenty of time remaining.
He's an angry little man, isn't he, Cripper? The stare back at his captain, Liam Duggan, for not hitting him in a mountain of space on the forward flank.
It'll be their biggest three-quarter time comeback since 2006, where they earned the title of the Comeback Kings. They did it 2 weeks in a row. Can they do it again today, West Coast? Yo kicks it inside the forward 50. Massive pack flies. Bodies hit the ground. Wardlaw did well for North to get through traffic initially. Then was caught. Often up to a teammate in Fisher, who was tackled out of bounds by Jack Darling. The ball will be tossed in 40 metres out from the Eagles attacking goal.
Really do have to wonder where this intensity was from West Coast.
It's a challenge for North Melbourne. They're just finding a way to win and how to win.
North led by 33 points. Early stages of this term, they're now only up by 9. Neither ruck got a tap. Petruccelli showed his pace, hit the football, but the hand pass was awry. Scott was able to gather, kick the on-defensive 50, not far enough to be a mark. Gaff had it, gave it to Flynn, back to Witherden. He wants Sheed. Oh, he's dropped the mark. It's hit his chest and bounced over the boundary line. And Adam Simpson says, I've had enough in the box. I'm heading downstairs. Oh, Dom Sheed should have snaffled that. He should be having a shot at goal from his favourite spot, the right forward pocket. Instead, it's thrown back into play. Sherry front position, got it down in the direction of Yo to Cripps. Just got a hand pass out before he was tackled. Flynn looks to emerge with it. Almost a drop kick. Stevenson couldn't get much on it. Came out in the direction of Duggan. The Eagles captain steals it, sends it back towards full forward. Comden, clever with the spoil at the back for North. Seated across the line. It's going to be a throw-in at right full forward.
Stevens again, little fumble. Get some territory on that.
Plays North Melbourne so far up the ground. Their deepest two players are on the back of the centre square.
Sharrod says every player on the ground within 70 metres of the Eagles' goal. On hands and knees, trying to knock it out with Sherry. Ball tracked back towards the boundary line. We're almost all inside North Melbourne's defensive 50. That's how close they are to this contest. There are players everywhere who can find some space from either side. The two rucks stand about 30 out from the Eagles' goal. It's spun back in. Williams tapped it down. Straight to Yo. Running pass. Throws it on the left. And pumps the fist. West Coast have kicked 5 in a row. And the margin is back to within a kick. It is a 3-point lead now to North. West Coast is 7-16-58. North Melbourne at 9-7-61. The Kangaroos led at 27 points coming into this final term.
At 33 in the third minute.
It is going away very quickly. This lead is almost gone. Wow, Sharrod Wellingham, Shane Woden.
He's carried him, hasn't he, this quarter?
Oh, his start was immense. Couple of clearances. He's a bull around the ball, we know that, but the ability to finish in front of goal is always there as well. So he's had the 7 clearances. Of those, I reckon 4 have been this quarter. So, he's done an amazing job.
North Melbourne supporters must be wondering, if not today, then when? How has this game evaporated from us? And a bounce which is as good as the first 3 quarters. We'll be bringing it back. 3 points the difference. North lead by. Flynn tapped it down. Here's Davies Uniacke. His hand pass stolen by Flynn. It came to Sheed. Kicks the Eagles inside forward 50. Attacking the football. Bailey J. Williams crashed to ground. Still there to be won out the back. Fisher got it away to Taylor for North Melbourne. Will kick towards right half back. Can North find a way to hang on? Hoff intercepted the football though. Gave it to Marek. He slipped away from Curtis, but kicks towards left half forward. Tucker maybe a little bit of a nudge into Darling in front of him. He's gone to ground. He's not well.
It's Duggan.
Well, Duggan, beg your pardon.
Yeah, he's out.
He's in real trouble. Duggan is down after being in that contest. Immediately the trainer knew he was in trouble. Went surging out. He's laying on his back. The trainer calling for help and support straight away.
Was it friendly fire, potentially? Yeah. Hutchison leading back towards goal. Yeah, Duggan coming up at the football.
There's a bit of blood potentially on the mouth as well.
There's concern. I don't mean to overhype this, but there's some concern around his neck, the way the doctors are holding him at the moment. Yo came across immediately to make sure he was okay, but he's now taken a couple of steps away as well.
He has moved that left leg. It was flat before, so that's a good sign that he has moved the left leg up to a 45 position.
Yeah, it could be a jaw, knock on the jaw or something.
The doctor did pull out the rag or the cloth to the facial region pretty quickly.
This might take some time, which will give North an opportunity.
He's up on his feet.
He's still being helped. So Duggan was going back, and he's clashed heads with Hutchinson. The captain up against the first gamer, a clash of heads.
Yeah,
there was a little nudging there from Tucker. It wasn't deliberate, but just on Hutchison as he went forward. So Duggan, I reckon, was out cold.
Yeah, he's so the top of Hutchison's head has gone into the jaw of Duggan and just rocked.
He's had more of the ball than any other player on the ground in this fourth quarter, Liam Duggan. He's had 7 touches and 3 inside 50s.
Pivotal. Still 8 minutes or so to play.
He had the mouth guard in, which is good.
7:16:58 West Coast, 9:7:61 North. North have seen a 33-point lead evaporate into what is now just a 3-point advantage. The cheer is for Liam Duggan as he's decided to run off the ground. Flanked by a physio and a doctor on either side of him. We'll get the restart at left half forward for West Coast.
And they keep their momentum going, the Eagles. Have kicked 4 straight. Ball back in the contest. Yo did well cracking in. Didn't allow North Melbourne to stream away. We'll have another ball up. Sheasel getting up from the bottom of the pack. Sherry and Flynn go at it again. Sherry taps it down. Ryan in there for the Eagles. Thought he was taken high. The umpire couldn't quite see it from his position, so they'll ball it up again. Still attacking side of the wing for West Coast. Flynn took it out of the ruck. Was dispossessed this time by Sherry. Archer did well. Came through, was clean. Got it to Davies Uniacke. Now Sheasel run down by Cole. Dropped the ball and the umpires paid it.
Overused by hands, North Melbourne.
Cole has the ball in the middle of the ground. Flicks it wide by foot to Marrick. Kicks inside the attacking 50 and Waterman streaming out of the lead. Takes it on the chest. And he'll go back for a shot at goal number 3 and to give the Eagles the lead.
Tell you what, that lead from Waterman started in the goal square and he was demanding it, arms flailing around everywhere, and just a bullet-like kick from Marrick.
As Clint has said, a 33-point lead early in this final term to North Melbourne. Waterman kicks and erases it all. The Eagles are in front. They've come from nowhere. 25 minutes ago, it looked like they were completely gone. And now they hold a 3-point lead. 8-16-64 the Eagles. 9-7-61 North Melbourne. The Roos are stunned at the moment.
Yeah, can't get their hands on it.
Cannot get their hands on it at all. Disposals for the quarter. 66-50.
17 inside 50s to 3. It's just lived in West Coast's front half this term. They're aggressive at centre bounce. They're trying to hit forward.
Everywhere. Get momentum on the ball. You'd have to say the change-up of putting Flying Ryan in the middle has paid dividends so far.
6 unanswered goals for West Coast. They've hit the front. They win the start as well. Then gets it away. It comes to Yo, to Ryan. Was tackled by Davies-Uniacke. Wardlaw got there, got the football to Powell. Davies-Uniacke, he'll take it all himself. Got a hand pass away to Shields. To Davies-Uniacke. Kicks towards full forward half. Defensive mark for West Coast.
He didn't have a shot.
I thought he could have
run through.
Yeah.
Run through the 50 arc.
He was good enough to do so. Decided to try and find Taylor. Hoff goes towards the southern wing. Off the hands of McDonald. Down in the direction of Chesser again. Spilled out to Davies-Uniacke once more for North Melbourne. Now to Archer. Putting in the direction of Lucky. Spoil came from Barris. Spilled out the back. Taking it was Zerha. Was taken high.
Yeah, he was.
Zerha in the right forward pocket. 40 out from goal.
He was there. He got nice and low. Tackle is really hard to land a tackle when somebody's that low, that fast. Now he's pinned up right against the boundary as he moves the security guard and a chair to go with him.
So the Eagles have kicked 6 unanswered goals. This, though, can put North Melbourne back in front. Cameron Zerha from beyond the boundary. Not quite.
They kicked the first one, didn't they?
To give everyone at home an idea,
they did.
They saw the tackle that Harley Reid got done over the boundary line. It was almost identical to that, but free kick awarded this time.
The cash voted are downstairs quickly.
Bit of concern on both benches. Dom Sheed doing some run-throughs to West Coast looks a bit sore, and Zach Fisher looking very sore for North Melbourne with a leg issue as well.
And it is run back.
36 touches for Fisher today, more than anyone else on the ground as Flynn rises high, loses a boot and takes the mark. He went up with 2 boots and no footy, came down with 1 and the pill in his hand. Handball's off to Witherden. Running by, kicks her high up and under to the wing. Flying from the side, Jimby couldn't take the mark. Hurt Comet in the process. The Eagles knock it towards half forward. Cripps onto it. Handball's inside the forward 50. Yo did well to turn on a dime. His handball back to Gaff. Couldn't quite get it to him under pressure. It goes off hands, out of bounds. That'll be a boundary throw-in, 30 metres around from the Eagles attacking goal. They lead by 2 points over the Kangaroos. 29.5 minutes played.
The Eagles chant starts around Perth Stadium. Flynn gets there, wins it down. Waterman's out after it. Under pressure, can't gather. Wardlaw has it, spins straight into trouble. Tackled to ground, but is taken high. And he'll have the free kick in the left back pocket. It's against Yo. Wardlaw knows his team needs a goal. They trail by 2. He'll trundle across in front of the Eagles attacking goal. Will take a bounce and kick beyond defensive 50. Marrick was there. Up against Tucker. Couldn't mark it. Came to Cole. Hand pass back to Marrick. Kicks in the direction of Ryan. Off his hands. It's there for Yo. Knocked it down to Darling. Tackled by Archer. Darling lost possession of the footy. Umpire is going to give a free kick to North.
Non-officiating again has paid the holding the ball then. The one who was directly in front didn't pay it.
He did not. North will bring it through their defensive 50 from the left back pocket. It comes in the direction of forward. And then was he spoiled? He was. He thought he'd taken enough of the mark against Whitford, and it's through the interchange gates for a throw-in as Powell had the clearing kick beyond the left back pocket. North Melbourne still trail by 2. The Eagles have hit the front. We've gone 31 minutes in the last.
Well, the umpire wanted to pay it closer to the pack earlier. He put the whistle to the mouth, then pulled it away. It was a textbook holding the ball decision from what we've been shown in the last few weeks. A full 360 and then dispossessed, but second-guessed himself late as the ball's knocked out of bounds again.
I think it may have been because Darling swung a leg at the ball and tried to get the kick.
Still spun around 360, which is what we're being told is now holding the ball. Anyway, ball spun back in. Flynn gets to the front, knocks it into space. Cully gets onto it for West Coast. Throws it on his left boot. Combin out brilliantly. Took the mark for North. Hit the ground running and just continued on. Kicks it out towards the wing. Barris takes it in front of Zerha. Zerha caught him. Just threw it away to Barris. Larkey gathers. Kicks towards half forward. Simpkin has it. 65 from home. Looking for a target inside the forward. 50 forwards edged under it. Umpire says play on. Curtis goes to try and gather in the pocket. Hoff did well. Won the ball. Stepped around his opponent. Cleared against the 50. But it falls between players. Now Flynn, McDonald, they're all onto it.
McDonald for North from left half forward. Kicks long towards left full forward. Curtis went up. There was Ford, lost his footing, came to Sheasel, hands it back to Larkey. Larkey for North Melbourne again to Shields. Shields wants Wardlaw, gathers, tackled immediately by Yo. No Pryor, it's going to be locked in. No holding the ball. Holding the ball against Yo.
Are you serious?
Goodness me, in front of goal. Yo's affected the tackle, the ball's jarred there. He's dived on top of it, he's tackled, and they've called holding the ball. Having another look at the replay, he tried to get up onto his knees, Simpkin tackled him, and that was enough for a holding the ball call.
That's a horrendous decision.
Well, I don't know about that. Jai Simpkin, meantime, is right in front from 45 metres out. North are back in front. And their captain has delivered again. His second. North by 4 points. 10-8-68 to 8-16-64. 33 gone in the last. But we'll be talking about that free kick for a while.
That can't get ticked off.
No,
that's a wrong call.
Yeah.
Incorrect call.
He hasn't tried to take it on. He's won the tackle. The ball's jarred out. Yo has picked it up. He's risen to his knees. Simpkins got him. That's not Pryor.
No,
that's a freak. That's just the ball.
I think the umpire thought that he may have dragged it in, which is why, but he didn't drag it in.
North have gone from an unbeatable position to almost bottling it. So now they're back in front with just minutes remaining. Ball back in the middle. North lead by 4. Davies-Uniacke takes it away from the centre clearance. Kicks it towards half forward. Oh, Cole spilt the mark. Ford's there for the Kangaroos. Slips over. Loses possession. His handball couldn't find a target. Cole came in. Now Witherden. Jones for the Eagles. He's tackled. Curtis is in there for North Melbourne. Oh, in traffic. Steps away. Could that be the sealer? Curtis with something special for the Roos. He had to work himself out of the tightest of positions. He snapped it on the left. And that could be the sweetest moment for the Kangaroos this season. They lead by 10. 35 minutes played in the fourth term.
It's a great tackle by Zerha. They just didn't give up. Great pressure. Great pressure. Good step.
The tackle was so good that it actually hurt Tom Cole, who was unable to impact the next bit of play as it came past. He was still reeling from the Zerha tackle.
35 and a bit minutes gone. North Melbourne, their leaders 10 points. Flynn won it down, but straight to Wardlaw. Was tackled by Jinby. Umpire says we'll ball it up.
And the North numbers go behind the ball.
Sherry wins it down. Davies-Uniacke put his head over it. Tackled by Cully. Wardlaw can't bring it out for North. And out the side as Yo wrapped up a Kangaroo. And Sheasel. Stoppage again. Flynn slapping it forward. Back there at centre-half back for the Kangaroos was Powell, but the umpire spotted a free kick here. It's going the way of Yo in that contest. So the Eagles, do they still have time? They need 2 goals. Yo kicks into the right forward pocket. Waterman flew, Core stayed down, gathered, kicked around the body, but put it down the throat of Flynn. Now he does not have time to mess around. He elects to hand it off to Witherden, who kicks towards full forward. Daly dropped the mark. Surrounded by players. Comes out the side. McGovern touched on the way through.
There's a goalkeeper on the...
That is a great save.
Great save.
He looked to soccer it towards goal, but it was Core back there. Got a touch on it. Through for a minor score. West Coast 8-17-65. North 11-8-74. 37 gone in the last.
Oh, Darling dropped a crucial mark in the goal square. Ryan! Oh! Flying Ryan flew high again. Couldn't take the mark. North Melbourne win it back. Moments ticking down. The dribbling ball has hit the shin of Davies Uniacke. It's gone out on the full. Gaff goes inside 50 for one last time for West Coast. Fist comes from behind. North Melbourne clear again. As Curtis, just to put an exclamation point on the moment, rises high, takes the mark, and goes out to his captain in Simpkin. How fitting. The two goal kickers in the final term for North. The captain has the ball. And North Melbourne fans, after 11 straight losses in season 2024, you can finally join in the chorus. Winners by 9 points.
North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne. They're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
They gave their fans heart palpitations, North Melbourne. They trailed by 9 points at quarter time, led by 8 at the half, led by 27 at three-quarter time, and then lost the lead late in the game before going on to win by 9.
In the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus. North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne. They're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
North Melbourne hold on. They win their first game of the season, beating West Coast 11-8-74 to 8-17-65. But it should have been so much easier for them. They led by 33 points at the 3rd minute mark of the final term before West Coast kicked 6 unanswered goals. And then it took a moment of controversy. And this won't surprise anyone, but the holding the ball decision again, when it would be said that Elliot Yeo can consider himself unlucky to give away a free kick for holding the ball, when the umpire decreed that he had dragged it in after he'd originally effected the tackle on Wardlaw that saw the ball jar free, and then as he tried to get to his knees was tackled by Simpkin, and the umpire paid a free kick right in front of the goals. And that was enough to see Simpkin go back and give North the lead again by 4 points. Curtis made sure of it late. Elliot Yeo is still down on his haunches, where he has not moved through, I would say, a combination of extreme disappointment and exhaustion. And the Eagles players are making their way over to him now. Premiership teammate in Jeremy McGovern going to give him a pat on the back, and he's finally been able to climb up off the deck as another Premiership teammate in Jamie Cripps gives him a big hug. He would be absolutely devastated by that, but take nothing away from what was, after 3 quarters of doldrums, a ripping final term. North, by the way, still must be wondering, how on earth did we almost lose that? And West Coast should ask themselves the question, why did it take us 3 quarters to play that brand of footy? The goal kickers look like this. Nick Larkey kicked 5, Jai Simpkin with 2, singles to Stevenson, to Sheasel, to Curtis and to Zerha, while for West Coast, Jake Waterman back in the team finished with 3, singles to Yeo, to Cripps, to Witherden, to Flynn and to Darling. The other question would be about how is Jack Darling feeling after spilling a mark at left full forward with a minute or so to play. If he'd marked it, he would have been able to go back and have a shot to give West Coast what at that stage would have been a deficit of just 3 points to run down with about 70 seconds to play. So many ifs, so many questions.
So many ifs. Been a robber if they'd have got that one.
I agree.
If West,
they would have played 15, 20 minutes of football. They didn't deserve it.
If West Coast had won this, it would have been the greatest bit of daylight robbery since
it would have been the ambushes getting ambushed.
I started
since the Great Train robbery. The biggest robbery since that.
I started to feel really bad for North fans.
I did too.
20 minutes into that last quarter, I thought, how can they lose this?
Well,
They just couldn't get their hands on it at all.
I just felt it was one of those losses that just rips the soul out of a club if they hadn't hung on. Because they would have known this was absolutely in their keeping. The 4 points, they were packed up. They were on their way to the airport to take back to Melbourne. And then suddenly West Coast responded.
When you say that, look at West Coast senior players down there. Like, they look like they've had it ripped out of them.
Because they would know that they got themselves back into that position where they could have won, and there were a couple of things that went against them. But also, I would suspect West Coast, those players are also good enough to know that for 3 quarters they were completely outplayed.
Which would be just as disappointing as letting it slip.
Yep.
There was some uncharacteristic stuff we saw from players.
Just didn't want to work.
Weren't working. We're getting belted around the contest, weren't they?
Yeah. Look at the joy with Simpkin and Sheezel, what it means to finally get your first win of the year, the relief it must be. And Alistair Clarkson has spoken about the pressure that he has felt under. Joy for him as well, for a coach who has had so much success. He's got a broad smile and he's given a thumbs up to a couple of friends and colleagues down in the North rooms. That's what it means to finally get your first win of the year.
Because North Melbourne would never have been in that position where they're getting challenged. Momentum's against them. How do we do this? Haven't trained this.
How do we hang on?
Did it not feel like a team late that didn't know how to win?
Didn't know how
they were up by 33 points and they thought, it's been such a long time. How good, though, you mentioned, Clint, how good was Jai Simpkin in the last quarter?
He's
2 goals, 9 touches. Didn't he just lead from the front for North Melbourne?
Exceptional.
Throw a blanket over a number of players who played well for them.
And Fisher was off for the last few minutes.
And he'd been one of their best up until that point too.
Yeah.
5 weeks in a row he's had over 30 touches, Zach Fisher.
We always mention that North Melbourne, they've got an enormous supporter base here in the West, and understandably they have all stuck around to thank their team. Well done to all the North supporters who have stayed and all the North fans that have made their way across just to lean across and give a few high fives to those in attendance. A little bit of an issue too there for Dawson, who's got his left arm in a sling. So whether it's a shoulder or a collarbone issue, the left arm is in a sling.
How tough is George Wardlaw as well? Fashioned, black boots, socks down, jumper out.
10 clearances.
I love black boots on the player.
Yeah.
10 clearances, 21 touches.
Unless you're really fast, then it doesn't matter what you wear.
There's just something about seeing the old black boots out there. North Melbourne 11-8-74, West Coast 8-17-65. It's one of those amazing things where you can have a football game that for 3 quarters you're like, oh, yeah, this has been something, and then it delivers entertainment and thrills like that did for North Melbourne to be up by 33 points. To see West Coast steal the lead at the 26-minute mark, and then with a bit of controversy that saw Adam Simpson in the broadcast in the coach's box, and indeed I reckon every West Coast person in the ground throw their hands on their head with that free kick. North Melbourne deserved to take the 4 points back. Yep. They've been the better side, but if you were West Coast, you would be filthy about that decision. And I'm just as confused as anybody now about where holding the ball sits. Because he picked it up and he's risen to his knees. He hasn't tried to drag it in or kill it. He was actually looking to get rid of the football. He hadn't had any prior, and then he was immediately tackled by Simpkin.
There was no action of gathering the ball and dragging it in. The tackle occurred. He then finds the ball next to him in his lap, picks it up, and tries to get to his feet before getting slammed in a tackle.
But a minute before that, Darling spun around in a full 360, missed the ball with his boot, and the umpire went to blow the whistle and then called play on.
The other officiating umpire called the ball.
Confusing. 2 umpires saw the same thing and disagreed. It's still confusing.
It is.
The result fell probably the right way, though.
Oh, I think so. No, I don't think so. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
We won't miss the North Melbourne club song. They're just gathering at the top of their race.
Good song.
Great song.
Alistair Clarkson's down in the rooms waiting for North to go down and join him. We will get the votes for you in the ABC Footballer of the Year. It's certainly worth sticking around for the first time that they've sung this in 2024. North are going to soak it all in. It's a sizable group of fans at the top of that race as well. They've come across in sheer delight with North Melbourne getting victory today. Any stats stand out for you, Mitch, as we're about to head downstairs?
Just Zach Fisher individually, 36, the most on the ground, 30 for Sheasel. And as I mentioned, we mentioned George Wardlaw, 21 touches, 10 clearances was absolutely terrific. Nick Larkey, 5 goals, of course.
May as well head down to a Cash Fudder. It's the place to be, I reckon, the North Melbourne rooms. A Cash.
Yeah, it's a pretty happy room down here. When the siren went and got down here and the coaching staff were already here, Alistair Clarkson went and hugged every single member of the staff. The players who weren't playing the emergencies, everyone got a high five and a hug, and you can hear the clapping from all the staff, support staff, coaches, as the playing group comes in. And I'm expecting a pretty passionate rendition of the song, as you mentioned, for the first time in 2024, the first time in almost 300 days. They're just circling up around me here. Plenty of drink being thrown around too, so I'm trying to avoid that. But expect a very loud and passionate North Melbourne song. Every single friend and family member in the rooms here also sung that song along with the players, guys.
As they would, spotting Michael Barlow on the docker at the back of the room too. First time for Will Dawson, who does have that shoulder or collarbone injury, along with George Wardlaw is in amongst it, and so too Jackson Archer. Well done to North Melbourne, their first win of the season, beating West Coast by 9 points in a thriller, 11-8-74 to 8-17-65 in front of 43,276 players. Votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year in the Christian Medal, Shane?
Yes, or could throw a blanket over a few of them, and honourable mentions to Sherry and Fisher. We haven't gone Fisher. He's had the 36, but doesn't kick in. That's what we do anyway. Just thought
that's stiff.
It is stiff. I know.
He's had 25 without him.
Yeah, but Nick Larkey with the 1 vote with his 5. He's stiff not to get in. Luke Davies-Uniacke with the 2. We just thought his ability to impact the game and his yardage in the game was impressive. And then Jai Simpson with 3. These 2 and to go with 28 was pivotal.
Impact.
That's what we've gone with today.
So 3 to Simpkin, 2 to LDU, and 1 to Larkey. So for the Christian Medal, West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, 1 to Cripps with his 4 shots on goal. He's had 20 times. 2 to Liam Duggan. It was important for him when he went off. Yeah, when he was coming. And 3 to Elliot Yeo,
who did his absolute best to drag West Coast back into this contest.
Couldn't have done much more, could he?
Could not have done any more. And then heartbreakingly, as is often the case with football, he was the player who was pinged for the free kick that saw North Melbourne hit the front once again. North Collingwood next up. The early game on Sunday against the Docklands. The breakthrough win for Alistair Clarkson will give his team some much-needed confidence, while West Coast, they go into the bye disappointingly for the Eagles after 2 games that they would have thought that they had a very good chance of getting results in after that horrible loss to Adelaide by 99 points. Fell to St Kilda last week by 14 and then losing to North today by 9. They've got the bye, and then they're across to take on the Bombers at the Docklands. That's the next stop for the West Coast Eagles after having the week off. Anything stand out for you, Mitch?
Just such a weird night. North Melbourne win the clearance. So Eagles win the hitouts 48-34. North Melbourne win the clearances 48-30. Smash the Eagles. The Eagles end up winning the inside 50 count 58-43. 15 more inside 50s. Just every stat almost
22-8 in the last quarter.
22-8. Just lopsided in the end. But wow, it was a weird night of footy. But well done to North.
work had to be done earlier.
They could have
There was
folded
nothing
late.
there in the first half. They had no bite. There's no energy in them.
Nothing.
They could have
Nothing.
folded late, North, though. That's a terrific effort
Yeah,
to
great
pull
effort.
themselves back after falling behind. To find a way to win was a great effort by North.
Kevin from Shenton Park says Adam Simpson shouldn't complain about the umpires. It's his performance that needs to be questioned. Since COVID and the hubs, the Eagles have been in decline. Not sure if it's a coaching issue today or whether it was just a mental issue from West Coast, which I suppose goes a little bit back to the coach, but they just didn't look like they were on.
Not today. Oh, no, that was not a coaching one today. That first 3 quarters, that was all just... And this wasn't system or structure. No, they were just faced, and we spoke about it pre-game, about the ambush that was coming, and it was a real dangerous game for West Coast.
We did. For those of you who thought we were sponsored by the Eagles, we said early doors right at the start, this was a danger game. North Melbourne thought that they were a big chance, and so it has proved. North, with their first win of the year, they've beaten the West Coast Eagles 11-8-74 to West Coast 8-17-65. A 9-point win for the Kangaroos here in Perth. Thanks very much for your company. Let's take you to the Saints and the Suns.